All right. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the ONG Strike Zone alongside my good friend, Keith Hadley, FangsUp podcast.
How's it going there?
I'm Bryan Fulford. How you doing, Keith?
I'm well. Spent a whole day at Universal with the students. So, it's good to get back home, eat some food that's reasonably priced and, talk a little bit about FAMU.
Well, big cheese out there spending money at the theme parks. Boy, must be nice. Some of us had to go to work and do finals and issue grading finals at the desk all day. Man, must be nice. I'm trying to be like Keith when I grow up.
Oh, don't do that. You'd be stepping backwards.
Oh, man. Well, definitely, man. It's good to have you on. Appreciate you answering the call. Because as you can see, my brothers, they out on assignment, man. They guarding children's and dealing with overseas trips, and so but that's again trying to grow up, trying to be like y'all married folk. Y'all married folk out here doing big things, man.
One step at a time. Look, she out.
Right,
She out like a light downstairs.
Gotta crawl before I walk. Gotta crawl before I can walk, Keith. Gotta crawl before I can walk. But anyway, yeah, man. Kelvin and Marcus, they're out on assignment, but I'm sure they'll be back next week. They might even be in the chats. They might pop in the chat, so you guys in the chat room might have a chance to see them. But hello to everybody who's checking in for the show, everybody watching, of course, on the Facebook feeds, whether it's the Black College Sports Network or our ONG Strike Zone page. You could also be watching on Twitter, X, as they call it these days. I still call it Twitter. Instagram Live is jumping. Let me see. Anybody jumped in from Instagram Live? Nope, nobody yet, but, it's there. And, of course, on YouTube, where primarily all of our friends – part of the Jericho Broadcast Network's Black College Sports Network page, or it could be watching us on the ONG Strike Zone page as well. We say hello to you as well. Coming up on tonight's show, we got a lot of things to talk about, obviously, always, never a dull moment. We've got FAMU baseball taking a good first step in the SWAC Baseball Tournament that kicked off today. FAMU softball season comes to an end, and so we'll talk about the end of the season and kind of what's next and what the future looks like for the Lady Rattlers. At the bottom of the hour, we got a special guest coming up at the bottom of the hour, Coach A-Rod White. He is a coach, scout, and also a writer with Black College Nines. I should say coach and baseball scout. Black College Nines. If you're not familiar with Black College Nines, they do a great job of covering HBCU baseball at all levels. So he is live. I know he is in Birmingham. He's at the SWAC Baseball. I don't know if he'll be joining us while he's in the press box or a room or from the bleachers or his hotel. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But he's in Birmingham on site where, Keith, I think I got SWAC TV on a channel, and I'm looking at the game that is on now. It looks like they're heading to the 10th inning of the Jackson State and Southern game, which is happening live on SWAC TV. So we'll update everybody on the results of everything thus far. And then at the top of hour 2, our good friend Liv for Hoops, a.k.a. Olivia. Liv for Hoops, Live for Hoops or Die Lonely, as I like to say. And, Liv will be joining the show, man. We have seen Coach Bridgette Gordon making some hella moves on the recruiting trail. I was just doing the math, Keith. I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 new recruits. 3 of them, 3 new recruits, all D1 transfers in the month of May. And so, it's an interesting mix, where you've got so many returners and then you've got this new talent. So none better than Liv to kind of help us break that down. And also Coach Ward, I've seen a couple guys come in a little slower on the basketball front, but I mean, slowly guys we're starting to build a roster. Eventually it'll get there. So, but we'll catch up with that. Anything else I might have missed there, Keith? That anything you want to tease and maybe hit up as we get in later into the show?
Teasing up. Honestly, something I don't even think we talked about yet, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure you saw it in the alumni group chat. Whoever did the stadium rendering.
No, I did not see that. You have to download that, and so we can look at a picture.
I'm gonna have to send that one to you. Stadium, they put a stadium rendering for Bragg Stadium for the end zone, and it is magnificent. It looks beautiful. I'll send it to you right now. But it was gorgeous. It gave me a lot of hope. Email it. I'll email it. But yeah, it is one of those things you look over and you're like, oh, really? And it's possible, it's doable, and I like it, and I do like the initiative behind it. So, if I was going to tease anything out, I think that'd be the thing I would kind of tease out. Just some hope, and just seeing some folks who are having the idea to, hey, let's put some money behind this and maybe get some things going.
I think ever since Milton Overton did those renderings, which is it's almost been a decade now, right?
More than
Since
that.
he did those, had those renderings done of what could have been. I think we have all been salivating to see something, right? Some improvements. Even when maybe about 4 years ago when they did the recent bleacher renovations, we were still kind of like, well, can't we do this, that, and the other? And then it always comes back to the bathrooms. And so anyway,
and when they did the new strategic plan,
comes back to the bathrooms. It's like, anyway, you come out better going to the porta potties. Let me stop. All right, let me stop. Let me
we might have didn't go to old A.W. Mumford before they renovated it, huh?
No, see, that's another advantage of media life. See, Keith, I don't have the media bathrooms be a lot upstairs and not too bad. I don't get a chance to go to the bathrooms with the fans. So, they ask me, why do you want to get in the media? Free entrance to games and nice bathrooms. That's my answer these days.
And occasionally you get fed.
And yes, and occasionally you get some free food and drinks. I mean, look, that's exactly what I would tell a young person to say. How do I get into sports? Well, I mean, hey, get into games. Sometimes you get fed. Nicer bathrooms than what fans get, and hey. Anyway, let's get into the roll call and say what's up to the family that jumped in early and often. Everybody in the chats, of course. You can shout us out if you're on Facebook or on YouTube. I think you can even do chats on Twitter as well. First one in the building, Jimmy Mack checking in. Exactly. Hubble Rattler baseball. Kind of had us talking noise early, then had us cussing, but then they came through and had us talking some more noise at the end. We'll talk about that coming up later. But wouldn't be a SWAC baseball tournament if there wasn't some drama to it, right? What up, Ken? Alice checking in. Bull also good to see you, Bull. Let's see. Ezekiel Love checking in. Good to see you as well. Emmett Jones. Yep. Well, it's how about going down into extra innings is where it's at now. So outstanding contest. Just throwing the clock off, Keith. Drew had texted me and said, hey, man, we're kind of doing okay with the time. I said, jinx. Drew, you just jinxed it. Now, watch this game go like 14 innings or something, and poor Bethune and UAPB won't play until like 9 o'clock at night tonight or something like that. Anyway, what up, Tony? Checking in. Good to see you. Let me see. Emmett Jones. Oh, okay. All right, give us some love to FAMU. Exactly. Liv checking in. Everybody in the chats. Liv will be on coming up, top of hour 2, 9 o'clock Eastern. Mary 305. Good to see you, Mary. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Alice McCullough checking in. Facebook from the 561. Good to have you on, Alice. Nehemiah Jefferson, good to have you in. Thank you for checking us out. Joel Banks, good evening. DIQ 813, somebody from the Tampa, St. Pete area, I think. Checking in. Good to have you. Thank you for coming in. Meredith, what up, Meredith? Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Sweet checking in. Good to see you, Sweet. Thank you for coming in and being a JBN subscriber. Appreciate you. Hello, Hollow. Good to have you in there.
Can't do it as well as Kelvin.
Nah,
I can't do it as well as Kelvin.
No, it is what it is. Let me see. Anybody else? Let me see. A little slow to get in. Let me see. Dwayne Scott. Good to have you, Dwayne. Thank you for checking in. B. Starks. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber as well. Shaco. Good to see you. Tampa Be Out Day coming up May 30th. All right. So that's the next one coming up, huh? I might have to roll out to Tampa that weekend. I have to check out what the Tampa Rattlers be doing out there. If I can get through the traffic, it'd take a 90-minute trip turn into 2.5 hours. That kind of is depressing sometimes. Dwayne Scott checking in from Hollywood, California. Okay. Appreciate you. Look at Brother Troy checking in. Good to see you. Fat Mouth Sports in the house. Jeffrey Carroll. Okay, well, let's see what these Tigers going to do right now. Looks like y'all Tigers got 2 runners on right now, 2 outs in the top of the 10th inning.
If that ball would have landed, oh my goodness.
Yeah, there was a shot that Southern hit a shot in right field in the, bottom of the 8th inning to tie it up at 2. A ball that landed up in the they said on the roof over in right field. So
I will say the stadium looks better than it did last year. Just on the screen.
You can see a lot of the seats. Is that what you're referring to?
It's just in general, yeah. The seats look better. Last year it looked a little it was showing its age. This year it looks a little better.
But really,
so, yeah.
I mean, that's odd given the fact that they did all these renovations. Well, wait a minute. Okay, I don't even know the timeline, but I thought that last year when they moved over to Rickwood, the renovations had already been done. Was that not the case?
I thought so, but last year it looked old.
Okay.
This year it doesn't look quite as old, but I think one of the questions for the SWAC is going to have to be and end up being, where can you put it? Can you get the SWAC tournament to become a draw anywhere? So, that may be something we table for near the end of the show, just SWAC tournaments in general, because you only have 2 of them that draw any attention.
And they are?
Football and baseball. I mean, not baseball, basketball.
I think you gotta exclude football. Football is just going to draw no matter what. I think regardless, you're going to get a draw for the SWAC championship game, especially now that they do the home thing. I've had people tell me, a lot of old school SWAC people. I say old school, hell, we've only been in it for 5 years, so I'm talking like pre-us. They will tell you that when it was in New Orleans, there were great crowds that would come there. So I strategically I understand the SWAC doing it in Birmingham, right? Because if you think about the traveling that they've had to do over the last 3 weeks, it's kind of good to be in your own backyard for the last tournament of the year. So I get it. And, I don't know.
I think Atlanta was better. Respectfully. I think the crowd in Atlanta, to me, and I understand, your headquarters is in Birmingham, but that SWAC baseball tournament in Atlanta, the crowds tend to come out a little bit more. I mean, I understand, but it's just it's to me, I think you're missing an opportunity because in Birmingham, even then you're the second class citizen in that area. Like the SEC tournaments in Hoover.
But it's not this week though, is it?
I mean, it's in that same area. So
but
I mean,
but it's not this week though.
Is it at the end of the week or next week?
It's next week, if I'm not mistaken.
So I don't know. Something about having it in Atlanta that, I mean, it seemed like we had some really good crowds. Just watching it on TV, it looked better. It's Atlanta, like.
Yeah, but I've heard from people in Atlanta that say for all that, I was disappointed in the crowds that I saw in Atlanta because in my mind, I'm telling myself, this is the cradle of where majority of SWAC alums are. I should see more. But then you got to say, is everybody really all into supporting their baseball program, you know what I'm saying, at the same fervor as they are their football and basketball? And the hardcore truth is no. And so then you go into saying, well, what kind of promotions are you able to do? Which, I mean, there's so many things to do in Atlanta. I don't know. You kind of, you throw a penny in the lake and then you just hope that people hear about it. But sometimes, if you don't have any marketing budget or you don't have the right kind of sponsors to help promote it for you, and then you don't have a school in the footprint of the city to help promote it as well. So that hurts you. Just things I think about randomly on the cuff. I don't know. Drew says, get into Georgia. I mean, the problems with, that's another thing you're dealing with. I mean,
that's true.
Traffic, high school graduations.
Yeah, that is the worst post-game traffic I've ever been in. And it was a Georgia Tech football game. And I was like, I don't see how y'all do this. I would never come here to watch a game.
Let me see. Just getting a few. Yeah, it is kind of interesting watching how, I think that's in relation to the SIC had their tournament just recently, in Macon, Georgia. So, yeah. What did EA say? That's the challenge. That's the challenge. But okay, let's kind of get into the first thing we want to, before we talk about baseball. We got to put an end on the softball season, as our Lady Rattlers went out, of course, were winners of the SWAC championship, got invited, earned a trip to the Gainesville regional, in a regional that you had the second seeded Florida Gators. You also had Georgia Tech and Texas State in the quad. And of course, FAMU first started out against Florida, lost 12-0. And then in the losers elimination bracket, rather, I don't know what to call it. Elimination bracket, losers bracket, whatever. You know what I'm saying. I mean, it is what it is. They ended up playing Texas State, and I'm just looking here at the box score. We end up losing 6-0. And so, outscored 18-0 in the two games, unable to produce any runs. In fact, let me see. I hate to do this, but we only had 2 hits against Texas Southern. Shoot, how many? If I go back and look here, I'm gonna be disappointed. How many hits did we have against Florida?
Not enough.
Not enough. Obviously, right. What's your takeaway, Keith, on the season? Does the end and the regional performance, does it sour your taste a little bit from the SWAC, which was a memorable moment, or just the growing pains? We've seen it before. What's your take? What's your thoughts?
It doesn't sour the moment for me because this is a team I expected to win the SWAC. I think coming into the season, I know we've both had Coach Beal on our shows, and as well as other platforms. You never got an air of doubt from her. You always knew that she believed this team could do it. They just had to live up to the standard, right? And so that, to me, winning the SWAC championship was the expectation. Now, post SWAC championship, that's where I was kind of like, I don't know where this team's going to go. And then when I looked and saw the regional, I was like, oh, we got them freaking Gators. And, my disdain for the University of Florida. And then, hearing that Texas State was a solid team too. And knowing that Georgia Tech could be had, but was not a bad team either. I went in there with the understanding that we're overmatched, but if we can put up a fight. But then I did watch the SWAC tournament. I saw how we struggled at times against really good pitching. And so when it's like, hey, we didn't quite get the hits, I wasn't torn apart about it. But I was also like, man, I felt like Coach Beal. We left some meat on the bone, and hopefully it inspires them for next year. But I also was of the mindset that this is where we see what investing in champions looks like. Like, we've had that program for years where we had the investing in champions and all this other stuff. But now when you see where, hey, the people on the ground invest in the program and get the coach some of the things she needs, then you start seeing some of those advantages show off on the field. And so overall, I thought the season was a success. I do feel like you left some things on the table that you could have gotten, but I also left with the understanding that, hey, if we can build this program and support this coach, maybe we can build something that's going to be lasting and that allows us to be able to compete against those teams.
The one thing that I come away, I know Coach Beal is such a competitor, and there are people, EA will say we're SWAC good, but she wants to be better than SWAC good. Like, in her heart of hearts, she is the kind of coach that is striving to win games in the NCAA, not just be there. And for this group, we haven't been there since 2017. So we're talking almost a 9 to 10 year run of the program to get back to its championship level, right? So for this group to get there, good, golf clap. But she really wants to, be at that next level where this program can win a game, can challenge. Somebody mentioned on one of the other shows I was on, we were talking about, I think it was in reference to where Bethune-Cookman might go if they run through the SWAC baseball tournament. And look, because of the SWAC, we're going to be a 4 seed somewhere. But if you notice how softball does their rankings, right? It's matchups versus either 1 seeds, 2 seeds, 3 seeds, or 4 seeds. Howard University got matched up against a 3 seed in Duke. And I think that was only because they went into the tournament with a higher RPI than FAMU. Now, at the end of the day, FAMU ended up with just 1 place higher than Howard. And I think it was a little crazy seeing Howard as a going up against a 3 seed and not us. Because if you go look at our strength of schedule in the non-conference, it was better than Howard. It was better than any HBCU, first off. And then secondly, we had to defeat a team 2 out of 3 times that has a higher RPI than FAMU and Howard University in Southern. And we beat them 2 out of 3 times. So, that's the disadvantage of only playing the East, Keith. Quietly, we talked a lot of mess about East v. West. Actually, playing other Eastern Division opponents hurt us, probably. I'm just saying. It may have, because if we had a few of those Western Division opponents this year instead of maybe a couple of those bottom-tier Eastern Division teams, what could our RPI have looked like?
Especially defeating them.
Yes, exactly. And so I just think, you got to remember, last year's team she came into in October. That team was already there. And she got them within 1 game, 1 pitch, 1 inning away from winning a title. And that hurt so bad that you saw it in the post game, right? You remember the visuals of her just in the outfield, kind of like trying to digest it all. And what she do, she came back the next year, made some changes to how some things were done, wanting to do things more her way. Everybody wasn't happy about it. But guess what? It's her program. She has to do it her way, a proven way, which is now proven to be a winning way. And so now that she's sort of minted, there's going to be more changes, and she's going to do more things. There's going to be more players coming in that are the kind of players that can get this team to another level. And that's how it should be. So, I'm encouraged. I think we have the right coach. There's always some transition and change is never comfortable, Keith. It's never comfortable, never easy. And I think this next class will be all, you got to think her first recruiting class was the group of freshmen that came in and the transfers that came in, right? And so now she's going to have even more to begin. And those are going to be the kind of the girls that, not saying this past group weren't good enough, because they were, but every coach has a style. You heard Coach Gordon. We've heard Coach Gordon for the last 2-3 years, right? And we've seen the turnover, right? And now finally, what do you get after about 2 to 3 years? You finally get the girls that understand what you're asking of them. They're not afraid of it. They're not nervous about it. They're able to perform, and they stuck around. They're sticking around, and she's got more coming. So we have reason to be optimistic about women's basketball. And we have more than enough reason to be optimistic about softball. So I don't know. Exactly. I'm 100% 10 toes down with Coach Beal. So, everybody has their own, has their own style, and I think we're in a good place with her. So, I asked the question, Keith. I said, if there was a HBCU softball national champion, and it came down to Howard versus FAMU, and I think there's only one poll, Keith, that I have seen, and this is Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab poll. Howard versus FAMU, and I think I saw the most recent poll where FAMU, out of 7 voters, took 4 of the 7, and I think the previous week it was 4 for Howard. So somebody flipped the vote. I am not a pollster, so it wasn't me who flipped. I didn't flip. It wasn't me. But somebody flipped. But if there was an HBCU softball national champion, Keith, who would you give it to?
I'm biased, and I'm definitely going to say FAMU, but I step into the place where I would almost like to see them take it to the diamond. Like best out of 3 series, play 3 games, whoever wins, HBCU champs.
that would be, well, it would be nice to do that. It would be nice to have the NCAA has this stupid rule about, not being able to play a tournament after, it's like, come on, man. I don't know.
I mean, it can't be like an all-star game.
A postseason exhibition game. Yeah,
exactly. Postseason exhibition tournament, let them get you 4 teams, top 4 HBCU softball teams, and let them have it out.
There's got to be some, it'd be nice if they created some kind of allowances for that kind of stuff. I don't know, wishful thinking maybe. I don't know. But we did play Howard 2 times during the season. We split with them. At that same tournament, Howard and Southern played. Southern beat Howard. And we beat Southern 2 out of 3. So, I mean, if you look at it, on the field success, Keith,
I'm just saying,
I
ain't saying they're the champs, but they the SWAC champs.
But I mean, if there was a newspaper or a media outlet outside of Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab, shout out to Doc and the voters for recognizing FAMU as the national champs. I would say FAMU softball national champs. Anyway, so wonderful way. Somebody get a ring. Mr. Davis, AD Davis, let's get these ladies some national championship rings, all right? Come on now, let's make it happen.
Conference championship rings.
Yeah, some kind after. We did it for the men, right? We got a conference and a national. Golf got a conference and national. Let's get these women some national championship rings. Just throwing that out there. All right, coming up on the other side, we're going to talk about the FAMU baseball game with A-Rod White. Coach White is going to join the show on the other side. He's a scout, former coach, and more importantly, or I shouldn't say more importantly, but also he writes for Black College Nines, and so covering HBCU baseball. So we're going to talk to him. Anybody got a score update? I think I saw Jackson State
3-3.
Oh God, it's 3. Somehow my
3-3
froze up.
And it's Jackson State. They're pitching right now. Southern's got a man on second. So Southern scores, Southern wins.
Oh Lord, drama. All right. Well, all right. We'll see how the drama plays out in Birmingham. All right. So let's take a break and we'll come back with Coach Rod White on the other side. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
SWAC fans, join us May 20th through the 24th at the legendary Rickwood Field for the 2026 SWAC Baseball Tournament. The top teams from the SWAC will battle it out on one of the most historic diamonds in the country, where every pitch, every swing, and every moment brings you closer to a champion. Feel the energy, experience the tradition, witness greatness. Catch all the action live on SWAC TV. SWAC, building champions for life.
All right, welcome back to the ONG Strike Zone alongside Keith Hadley, Bryan Fulford, and joining us live from Birmingham, Alabama right now is Coach A. Rod White, Black College Nines, and among other things, a coach, a scout. Coach, how you doing, man? Welcome to the ONG, man.
Hey, glad to be here, guys. Appreciate you having me, man. It's been a long day and it's still going at this point. You know?
All right. So let's go to what we've got live. So we have drama happening right now before we get into talking about FAMU.
Okay, I can hear you now. It cut out for a minute there. All right.
Okay, you good. Okay, I was just saying we're all watching SWAC TV as well. We got Jackson State. It's 3-3 right now. Southern's at the plate. Runners on second and third. A little bit of, well, we lost him there. I think he's working on his
It's okay. It's okay, Bryan. Keep it going.
Yeah,
keep
so
going.
okay, hold on. Here he is. Second and third right now for Southern, but a little base running. I don't know, a questionable decision there by the shortstop for Jackson State.
Very much so.
Yeah. Break down what happened in that play, if you would, Rod.
So basically, you had a double. You had a runner at second base already. A double hit some gap. And I'm actually back in the corner, so I'm having to look from the back of the field so I can actually give you this little update here. But it was ball hit a double in right center. The guy comes from second and decides he's going almost home. Shortstop gets it, kind of bobbles the play, doesn't make a decision to throw, man scores, tie ball game. And now you have a 3-3 game. Runners on second and third, 1 out at this point.
That's a tough strike. That's a tough strike.
Yeah. It's a tough spot, man. I think, if Southern, even a wild pitch at this point scores a run, Southern could pull this game out just like that.
Yeah, like a deep fly ball or something like that, and they're in.
And it's in. So there's you might as well just try to play the ball. Hope you can get a ground ball or a bloop or something right here and keep it in play. Ball is.
And the bases are now loaded too, man. That's wild.
They just walk. Is it intentionally walk that runner?
I didn't know. I didn't see if it was. I believe it was an intentional walk. But the bases are loaded. It looks like Southern is playing for a double play. If they can get a double play, it'll end the inning. So,
exactly.
Kind of one of those things where I saw where Emmett put in their fundamentals. It's not just the fundamentals; it's the analytics of the game as well.
And
somehow I got kicked off, but Southern has walked it off.
Oh, unable to turn a double play. Out.
Unable to turn it.
That was so close.
What a finish.
That was close.
They are. Coach Johnny is right here in front of me. So Johnny and them there. So they actually are going to a review.
Of course. I would. It was close.
So
he was safe.
You see, he's right here, right?
What's up, Coach?
Bryan, how are you?
Hey, what up, Coach? What up? Hey, congratulations,
what's up,
Coach.
Guys?
Congratulations, Coach.
Congratulations, Coach. Coach of the year.
Coach of the year. Good to see you, brother.
Got to keep going doing the same thing we've done the last couple of years, right? At the end.
Exactly. You got we got a date with us on Saturday or Sunday, Coach. So make sure y'all do y'all part.
On Sunday.
Exactly. Make sure y'all do y'all part, Coach. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Good luck to you, man.
Yeah, so we over here getting play-by-play from coaches and everybody else at this point. So hey,
he's safe. I think he's safe.
I thought he was safe too. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah.
Oh well, he did a good thing by sliding too.
Yeah, I think if he tries to leg it out, he gets. I don't think he legs it out.
I don't know if you got a camera angle to overturn it though.
Safe. Johnny, we're looking at it right here from the angle that Johnny has that they're actually showing. And to me, it looks like he's safe in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just say it's safe, so it is ball game.
So
there you have it, guys.
There you go.
And I see that MLB official logo on there. Could you just kind of,
I'll say so. I operate in a couple different capacities. One as a writer partner with Black College Minds. I'm also the CEO of the National Scouting Bureau. So you guys remember when the MLB had the Scouting Bureau, and they ended it back in around 2011. I actually was smart enough to go buy the name. And we started building a scouting company and helping guys. We put over 600 guys in college, help them find the right scholarships and find the right fit with about a 96% right fit category. So we've been doing that. I started writing, and they asked me to, since I'm covering so many games, I'm also the cross-checker for the MLB Swingman Classic this year. Okay. So I'm the person that goes around and does the final evaluations of the who makes that top 50 for the Swingman Classic. So I operate in a couple different capacities now that I'm off the field coaching.
Are you enjoying this role more than coaching?
Man, listen, there's nothing more than I love than being on the field coaching, but this is a great supplement for it, right? I'm on the field watching guys, pretty much every day, whether it's high school, college guys. I'm out here beating the streets, making sure we can help guys that are looking for those opportunities, at the same time working with, various college programs to find the right fitting guys. So that's pretty much what I do, other than the writing part for Black College Minds. So, yeah.
All right. Well, now that Southern has taken care of their business and they continue their winning ways, man, I tell you, this is one of the hottest teams in baseball. I was just going to say the SWAC, but probably in baseball right now.
Yeah, that was number 17, right? Back, SWAC wins.
So. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Well, our FAMU Rattlers are going to get a chance to meet up after a morning game in which, for 6 innings, Caleb Granger threw a great 6 innings, 101 pitches, only 1 run allowed. The FAMU bats were up early. They came with a good breakfast. And then, that damn 7th inning kind of came up.
That 7th inning came up, yeah. Go ahead, I'm listening.
No. I was just recapping it a little bit for people who might have missed it. But just go ahead with your observations in what you saw today, because it was almost like 3 different phases of the game, plenty highs and lows.
Yeah, there were a lot of highs and lows. After Caleb came out, I can't remember the young man they brought in. I got my notes and stuff up there. I walked down in and left everything up there. Texas Southern came in, got a couple of hits that were shocking. I'm not going to say shocking. They were timely hits, right, to kind of put pressure in the game. And ultimately, with those highs and lows, this particular game, the Rattlers came out on top.
Do you? I know pitching and the strategy of having a number 1 around at the end is important. Right. And I'm sure there's I don't know if you had a chance to talk to Coach Shoup. I'm sure there's a strategy with the pitch count and the innings. Did you get a chance to find out, or what's just your thoughts on, was that the right time to bring Granger out, in your opinion?
I think it was. I think it was the right call. The guy that he brought in just wasn't his day. That happens sometimes. But I think he made the right call. I did not get a chance to talk to Coach Shoup about the decision. But again, man, you got the opportunity of playing 5-6 games, and you got to have pitching. And so the limiting Caleb to, I think you said it was 101. Limited to 101 gives him the opportunity to come back Saturday, after that number of days of rest. And then, you did not dig into the bullpen as deep as some of the other teams did. I know Alabama State, they dug into the bullpen a little bit, even though they were up. I mean, and on the flip side of that, Grambling, they dug into their bullpen a lot. This game in particular that we just watched, guys, 3 or 4 guys coming out of the bullpen. So it makes you start to question, hey, are those guys going to be available on the back end when you need it if you survive? If Jackson State turns around and wins tomorrow, do you have enough pitching to get to Sunday? And it boils down. I mean, it's going to be for everybody. The team that pitches the best, in my opinion, is the one that's going to win this tournament.
And kind of in that same area, you kind of talked about, one, roster depth, and then just part of baseball, especially college baseball, is just roster depletion. Could you kind of speak to just the roster sizes in the modern era of common college baseball? We've seen a significant increase from the schools that have versus the schools that don't have quite as much, where, we've seen literally schools like Florida State, UCF, they can carry a huge darn near minor league roster versus the capabilities of a smaller HBCU or some HBCUs. How does that impact the game going forward from your perspective?
Well, definitely, I think, in my opinion, honestly, I think the game from a standpoint has been evened out with going to the 34-man roster, right? Before you used to could have, almost 40 guys. And cutting it back now makes you, in the recruiting process, look harder to identify the right guys that fit the mold of what you're trying to get accomplished. So with that 34-man roster, you're looking at probably most teams are carrying right at 18, 19 arms. So with 18 and 19 arms, I mean, you limit it down to, roughly 14, 15, 16, almost 10, 12, position players. It's really what it looks like. And that's why you're seeing a lot of teams are starting to pick up a lot of two-way guys. But I can tell you this, man, if you don't have pitching, you don't have anything when it comes to these tournaments, especially. You can probably survive, those games and, during the season and, your weekend series and those midweek games. You probably got enough to do that. But if you don't have depth in pitching when it comes to this tournament here, you're not going to survive.
Let me throw this at you. I know pitching is important. All right. Yeah. So I don't mean to underscore it. But when I was, I know going into preseason, I know Coach Shoup was very big on what type of bats he was going to have this year compared to last year. And then I just did a glance at the box score from the game. Okay. 1 to 9, everybody got at least a hit. Okay. And of course, the 9 hitter who had been hitless comes up with the big, 2-run, 2 RBI single. And then the leadoff hitter, the Browns, Jordan Brown and then William Brown. But, I mean, I'm looking at the top of our lineup, FAMU's lineup. Everybody's getting a hit. Is FAMU constructed in a way that if the pitching isn't great, let's just say average, good. But if it's not great, do they have enough bats? Do you see the talent being good enough to carry through?
Yeah, I mean, from the standpoint, like in today's game, man, I mean, they came out hitting left and right. It reminds me of a game where when I was coaching at Alabama State, we played Georgia State and one of our pitchers was struggling, and all you heard was ping, 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 and I had nightmares that next day, that night, going into the next morning. All I'm hearing is ping, 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 and that's how I started out this game today. So, I think Coach Shoup has done a great job, and that's why it goes back to what I said earlier about making sure the guys that you actually bring in actually fit the mold. And I think he's done well enough job that where if pitching is not as dominant as you want it to be, I still think they can hit and stay in a game. Long as they can hit and stay in the game, I think they always have a fighting chance. But if your bats are not hot and you're dependent on 1 or 2 guys, it's really hard to piece that together and put up the runs that you need to beat other teams.
And you mentioned just, being able to beat other teams, and modern baseball is built very heavily on analytics. I'm a Tampa Bay Rays fan. So how do you, just in general, especially with the smaller staff that you tend to have at HBCU, how do you mix that analytics with your gut? I mean, some things like we just talked about, bases loaded. Yeah. Okay, why did you load the bases? Well, the baseball non-novice, even the novice is like, well, he's trying to get a double play. But then how do you then go on to use analytics when you have a smaller group of people?
So when you have a smaller group, I'll give you a good example. My time at Dillard University, right? I'm a very data analytics heavy individual. We come in and we do things more than just basic physicals. We did things like functional movement screenings on these guys that we can identify any potentials for injury and help mitigate that and turn it around and help that individual work on that particular muscle. So if you're a pitcher and you got weak hamstrings, more than likely you're going to possibly have a UCL injury because you're using your upper body and your arm a lot more to throw. So when you go in and you take that type of analytics and you develop your guys based off of that on the front end, that helps you eliminate and reduce your injuries. And that's how we looked at it at a Dillard standpoint. And once we saw that, we also had the coaches in place that we could actually go around and surround those guys with the instructional piece now that goes into it. And then when it comes down to the actual data, we measured everything that you can measure. You can't, there's an old saying, you can't grow what you don't measure, right? And so every at-bat, every pitch, whether it was spin rate, whether we were looking at the velocity, whether we were looking at exit velo, we documented that. And then you turn around and you have a team that, when I took over the program, they were 6-21. We ended that particular season 20-26, 20-27, I believe. I think we lost 6 games that year. And then to come back the next year doing the same, data and analytics that we did before, you turn that team into a 26-21 team. A complete turnaround in a matter of time. But, a lot of guys, what I found is a struggle even with the National Scouting Bureau when we're working with high school programs or with college programs. You're turning around and a lot of guys don't understand how to implement the data or how to even take the data to be able to implement it. And that's where we're trying to do things from the National Scouting Bureau side that actually help guys, help coaches, and help programs and help their players, be able to hone in on those particular skills, reduce the injuries, get bigger, faster, stronger, which is what everybody wants, but do it in a way where it turns into results. Results on the diamond, results on the field, and even, help your guys produce better in the classroom. So.
Nice. All right. So tomorrow, we've got, as it relates to FAMU, we got FAMU and Southern tomorrow. What's your preview of that? Earlier in the year, teams met. FAMU won 2 out of 3. I can't recall. Keith, did we play them in the Jackie Robinson? In the event at the beginning of the year.
They got rain delay.
Got rained out. Okay, so we just have the 2 out. We just have the series 2 out of 3. That was so long ago. I don't even know if that matters. But how do you preview that matchup, Rod?
So let me say it like this. This is a totally new day, right? Tomorrow's a totally new day. This tournament, man, listen, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you know of a rivalry like I know in Alabama, like Alabama-Auburn, right? Alabama-Auburn is such a rivalry game that when you touch the field, all records, all pass goes out the window, right? And I think tomorrow is going to be one of those rivalry games between you guys, right? I think if, again, I don't know who Shoop's going with yet. I'm going to try to find out. If he comes back out here, I guarantee you I'm going to go jump in his ear and say, man, what are we thinking for tomorrow? But based on who they throw, who you guys throw, I think you got a strong chance of competing. Same thing with Southern, whoever they throw. And, because I think both bats for both teams they're pretty much equal. I'm not going to lie about it. I think they're pretty much equal. If I really had to put my a name or say who I think pulls it out, I'm gonna go with the Rattlers, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's one simple reason why. You guys play with grit. It's knocked down. These guys, from what I've seen, these guys will run through a wall for shoot. So I think that. And it's not that it's not like that with Southern. I just think when it comes down to having that grit, and Shoop always pulls some sort of rabbit out the hat. I mean, I'm just saying in general. So if it gets down to a strategy session, I think sometimes Shoop has the upper hand on guys. Sometimes, but you got to really look at it. You got another former head coach over there on the southern side with Riggins coming from PV. So now you got two head coaches working together. So let's put our big boy pants on, get out here, and let's see what's going to happen.
I think I don't know if I have a feeling, and I don't know, somebody's probably tracking or kept up with this. If you go look at whether it be one run or late inning, 8th, 9th inning games or runs, I think these two teams have probably won the majority of their games either in the bottom of the 8th or bottom of the 9th. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just off just mental memory of, and I know with FAMU, I've seen enough this year to know that we pulled some games out of our backside late. Games that we're like, man, we're down 4 runs. How are we going? And all of a sudden, it's like, hey, man, the bats just kind of do what they do. And Southern, I know I've heard it from Carlos Brown. He said it. I mean, I know Southern. So, I mean, hell, this winning streak is not by accident.
It's not by accident.
No. So, okay. So that's that side of the bracket. Let's quickly jump over to the other side.
Okay.
I mean, is it the Bethune-Cookman Invitational? I mean,
hey, man. On paper, it looks that way, right? It looks like the Bethune-Cookman get down here, get your tail kicked Invitational. But here's the thing, I heard you guys the other day when I was driving back from New Orleans on the show. Bethune has lost one game to all the teams that are in the tournament, right? So you never can tell. Again, baseball is baseball, man. It's who shows up, how things roll in the right direction. So, whoever's playing who, I think this tournament, and let me back up. I would say this also. I think the level of baseball throughout the SWAC has increased and gotten a whole lot better, okay? You see Bethune-Cookman beating Florida, LSU in the midweek games. You see Alabama State, competing with Alabama on a 1-0 game or a 2-1 game or whatever it was, beating the other midweek teams like Troy, South Alabama. So you're seeing that pool of talent actually increase. So when it comes down to this particular tournament, man, listen, you better show up. And when you show up, you better show out. Or you're going to be on the bus going home. That's just literally how this thing is. On that other side, you got, it's Bethune, who, if they win this one tonight, I think they got
Alabama
State tomorrow. Hey, they took, again, Alabama State took one. They had a blowout game against them. Bethune had a blowout game against them, and then Alabama State takes one. It can go either way. It's who shows up. Right now, you got Bethune about to face Pine Bluff, and again, it's who shows up. I think Bethune has a better team, but this is the SWAC tournament, man. You can put your money on one team and be pissed off later that night because you just lost. So it's really, if I had to pick if I had to say it, I think Bethune actually comes out on top, throughout the tournament. But again, you never can tell when it comes down when you cross that white line and you toe that bump and you hold that bat in your hand. You never can tell what's going to happen. Any team can beat any team out here tonight and tomorrow, throughout the rest of this week.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned it, and I know we got Liv on deck, Bryan. But when you mentioned some of the teams that Bethune-Cookman has defeated, one of those is in the it's not your poll, but Baseball America. They beat a top 10 University of Florida team. They beat a perennial legendary LSU team at the box. And they've also beaten South Florida, who's come up in the past couple of years to be a pretty consistent NCAA tournament team. How does those wins benefit the SWAC as a whole? Because we see where FAMU's played some of those teams have been competitive. We may not have beaten them this year, but how do those wins for Bethune-Cookman benefit the SWAC as a whole?
Matter of fact, let me say it this way: it boosts the morale of the SWAC tournament and SWAC baseball in general, right? I've talked to several teams and several guys, and several players, right? And I've had players from Southern reach out to me, former players that I've had reach out to me, man, and they say, "Hey, coach, Bethune being Florida, Bethune being Cookman, that makes us all look better, right?" I think it gives credibility to the SWAC. That hey, this is not those same pushover days where you thought you were gonna pad the stats on it. The SWAC is here. You got teams that are here, you got coaches that are here, and you got players that are here. You see teams increasing their facilities. You see, most teams moving into the data and metrics with TrackMan and things of this nature and Synergy. Where they can actually monitor and see where their guys are developing and and the things they need to work on. This is not the old SWAC of old where we were playing in the cow pastures anymore. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but that is what it is. When I came through, I'm just being honest. Playing at Alabama State, we played in some terrible fields throughout the conference, right? And now you get to come at and let me mention this while I'm saying, you get to come play at a historic Rickwood field where MLB has come in when they did their Field of Dreams and completely renovated the turf and the stadium itself. And I think it's an honor for these guys to have the privilege of playing here. But throughout the SWAC in general, I think beating those teams, competing against those teams day in and day out, outside the conference in those midweeks, boost the morale of this program and boost the credibility of these programs. And we called it at the National Scouting Bureau, we call those the ambush alerts, right? When they showed up and LSU thought they were going to dominate Bethune and the box, at the end of the game, I had the ambush alert. As soon as the last pitch was fielded and the ball was at ground ball, they made that last out, it was already hitting social media. We had the ambush alert because you're not supposed to go in and beat LSU. That's what the thought process is. Now we're saying, now everybody's saying, hey, LSU is looking at me like, hey, we got to go compete against everybody and not just, think we're going to pad the stats on these guys. That's just how it is. So these guys are coming to play. But
I love that the ambush alert. I'm gonna have to use that. We get that trending next time. I called one of those upsets, but
right.
But anyway,
right.
Good stuff.
Right.
So Rod, real quick before we get you out of here.
Yep.
All right, give us your now, Keith. I don't know about you. I've been on wax saying I predict a rematch of last year's championship game. Keith, do you want to? Who's your championship game this year?
It's
rematch.
It's FAMU and Cook.
Rematch. Okay. Rematch of FAMU. Okay.
Rematch.
So Rod, who you got? What's the? I'm not going to ask you for the winner unless you want to give it. But what's your championship game?
Honestly, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to say because as a fan, you want to say your alma mater is one, as one of those finalists, right? Oh man, you're putting me on the spot with this one. I'm gonna go Bama State and Bethune. I'm hoping that I can see that, this one time. But if not, then I'm gonna go back with the repeat, of last year. So I got my A and I got my B bracket. So it's just like the NCAA tournament, right? I got my bracket over here and I got my bracket over there. So I'm trying to hedge my bet. I'm trying to hedge my bet right here. You know what I mean? Plus, I don't want to get jumped on by the Rattlers anywhere. You got Corey Bannon and all these guys calling me right now, like, what you saying? Blah, blah, blah. Man, y'all get off my phone while I'm having this conversation.
And that's why I only wanted to put the championship game. I didn't want to make you have to make the hard call, right?
Make the hard call, right?
Because people are asking me, and I keep telling them, well, look, I'm not going to predict. I'm just going to tell you what the championship game is going to look like, and that way it's safe for me. I will say though, Alabama State is my sleeper. I'm not, I'm just because the only other 30-win team that nobody is talking about. I'm just keep it.
Alabama State.
They're the only. Nope, we're talking about Bethune. We talked about. Everyone talks about Bethune, Southern, FAMU.
Yeah,
I just don't hear a lot of people talking about Alabama State, and they won second most wins overall.
That is correct. They played a high level of competition in the midweek games too.
Yeah.
That's why I say I got my two bets going. I'm in good shape either way. So but yeah, man, it's honestly I will say this. I won't hide this. I think Bethune-Cookman actually, in my opinion, has the ability to repeat.
Sure.
Their bullpen is probably the stoutest that I've seen amongst not just SWAC schools, but other mid majors that I've looked at. Even some SEC schools, they're just as stout and can compete. So we'll see.
Rod, let people know how they can find your service, National Scouting Bureau, and then where can they find you? Obviously, Black College Nines, they can read your work, but let people know how they can find you elsewhere on social media.
Yeah, social media wise, I think my Twitter is The Godfather. I think it may be The Godfather SMA. On National Scouting Bureau, it's the same thing for all of them. Twitter, Instagram, NSB Scouting. And the website is nationalscoutingbureau.com.
Nationalscoutingbureau.com.
That's right. That's it.
All right. Appreciate it. Hey, Rod, enjoy it.
Yeah, man.
Give a shout out to any Rattlers that you see. I know you might see AD Drew walking around there eating.
I was waiting
table.
for him. I think he's up in the box right now. I ain't seen him come down yet. I was gonna jump on him.
Yeah, he's gonna wait on the fresh chicken tenders to come out.
And they are actually bringing them plates tonight. So I mean, they have people coming down fixing the plates and taking it to them. So I'm like, oh, okay, y'all big leaguing us today, huh?
Look, I told you that's why I got in the media right there.
Yeah.
Free food, free games, and you get to talk about sport. That's why I got in the media.
Talk about sport. That's exactly
it, buddy. Hey, Rod, hey, man, enjoy the games. We appreciate you, and we'll talk with you soon, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great one.
All right. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Good stuff there. Good stuff. Well, Keith, let's do a quick little timeout and come back with our girl Liv on the other side. We're running a bit behind, but I appreciate Liv for hanging with us. And when we come back, we'll talk a little FAMU hoops on both sides, the men and women's. And we'll talk to Liv on the other side. Liv for Hoops, get your basketball questions in the chat to everybody. Liv doesn't hold back. So it can be SWAC related, HBCU related, FAMU related. You got a question, Liv's got an answer. Coming up on the other side, you're watching the O&G Strike Zone. Keith Hadley alongside me, Bryan Fulford, and we'll be back right after these words.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
SWAC fans, join us May 20th through the 24th at the legendary Rickwood Field for the 2026 SWAC Baseball Tournament. The top teams from the SWAC will battle it out on one of the most historic diamonds in the country, where every pitch, every swing, and every moment brings you closer to a champion. Feel the energy, experience the tradition, witness greatness. Catch all the action live on SWAC TV. SWAC, building champions for life.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Alongside Keith Hadley, I'm Bryan Fulford, and joining us is none other than AKA Liv for Hoops. I'm not going to call you your government name. I know, But Liv, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Doing great, Liv. Doing great, Liv. What's getting ready for summer? What's life like right now around the Great Lakes region?
I mean, like a couple days ago, it was super hot, really nice, and then yesterday it got chilly because we were getting hit with storms, and then today it was back warm. So we're in that like up and down weather right now. But our summers, it gets hot here. People don't think it does, but it does. Just a different type of hot than obviously Florida, but
Yeah. I keep going back to thinking when I first met you, I know you were coaching, and I know you were doing a lot of coaching, and you kind of stepped away from coaching. You miss it this time of year?
I'm not missing it at all. No, definitely not.
What was it? What was it that you're not? I know you miss the kids, but just in general, what don't you miss?
It just takes up so much time. So like people don't know, I was a coach at the JUCO level. I was a high school coach. I coached AAU, a lot of different levels. It just takes up too much time. Things drastically changed once I had a kid, to be honest, because it was like, it's too much wrangling a toddler around a gym. And my child is not like, we don't have an iPad. Like that's just something I personally don't have with my kid. So it was just too much. And I was like, this is too much time, like practices, games, all the traveling. I was just over it. Like, I was like, no, I'm good. I do miss my kids though. My youngest group, who I've never coached young kids before, like I miss them a lot. Like they were just so cute and wanted to learn and wanted to be coached hard. And that was like one of my favorite groups ever to coach. So they're like they're in high school right now, they just are finishing their freshman year.
Nice. You still did you get a chance? You still follow them? Obviously, you get a chance to go to any games or get a chance to. I know it's kind of hard during the year, but
when I stopped coaching, because like I was like, you guys aren't following me on anything. They all started following me on Instagram and all of that. And they tell me their game schedules all the time, and I try and go when I can or when like for AU, because a lot of them when I stopped coaching went to other even organizations. Like if they play each other, I'll try and do that. So it's like I'm getting multiple kids at one time when I can. But yeah, they still message me their schedules all the time.
All right. Well, look, I know, we have seen a lot of movement in the HBCU basketball spaces, and we're at the point now where kids have to kind of make choices. Mm-hmm. Teams have to make choices. What has been some surprising developments that you have seen just across the diaspora, of teams, whether it be transfers, kids leaving that have found new homes, or maybe teams that have really taken advantage of the portal?
When it comes to leaving, I just feel like I'm not surprised anymore. I just assume that every single team in the HBCU landscape is going to have a lot of turnover. So it never surprises me. And to be honest, I never blame kids in the climate that we're in, where they have coaches, which they really should do their research and be very careful. They have coaches being like, oh, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars if you sign with us. I don't blame kids for wanting to take advantage of the opportunity to get money. I can't be mad at them for that, especially if there's kids now who, in the situation they're in, are still like, being a provider for their family. So if they have to make decisions on what's best for them, and also it's like, this could be like a whole episode, because there's good and bad with all of it. Like the so-called reps, which there should be a lot more, like, there needs to be a lot more regulation, because there's reps who are saying they're agents. You literally need to be licensed to be an agent. You cannot call yourself an agent unless you're licensed. You're a rep. You like, and I know for a fact, because I've witnessed it on both sides, kids getting screwed over by reps, because that's what they are. And also reps like lying to players, being like, oh, the coach said this, or like vice versa. It's all just a game of who can you find that's just honest and reliable, and just, it's messy. But I would say there are a few teams who I think have taken advantage of the opportunities. The good thing about with a lot of these kids utilizing the portal is we're going to have players who end up at HBCUs who are going to be super productive and add a lot of value to these teams and the conferences, because they want the opportunity, especially when they're like a lot of these D1 transfers. They just want the opportunity to play and get the minutes that they want. And people may be upset about that, but I just feel like we have to pick our battles. And if kids are coming here just to get their film and then move on, so be it. There's literally teams like, and it's not just HBCUs, like mid-majors and low majors have been hit the hardest with the transfer portal and the NIL era. But I would say teams that have really, really stood out to me so far as of today on May 20th at 8:23 p.m. Central, because someone's going to bring this up and be like, well, I said this on May 20th at 8:23 p.m. Central in 2026. For women, I've really liked what Alabama State has done. I think they're going to be another contender. I think she's done an absolutely phenomenal job. Another one, obviously, I think FAMU's done a great job. Their biggest issue, I mean, they had a few issues last year, but their biggest one was the rebounding. They were either second to last, or third to last in almost every single rebounding category. So to me, if you can fix rebounding, it may, hide the other problems a little bit more, depending on how these existing players blend in with these new players. But I think they did a great job of getting important pieces that were really, really crucial and needed, because you just can't be last in every single rebounding category. You're not going to be successful. And then for men, I really like what so many teams, I feel like a lot of men's teams are actually doing a really stellar job. I really like what Norfolk State has done up in the MEAC. If anyone pays attention, he's been like never again, because they got exited the first round, which is not like them. So I feel like he's going to be on a revenge tour up there. I think Alabama A&M, even though they cannot qualify for postseason, which shocks me that so many players are deciding to go there, considering they cannot play in the postseason. But, whatever, they can still win a regular season championship. Alabama State has done a really good job. For the men, though, when I'm looking at the total pieces brought in, I've been really impressed with Southern. And I think with Southern is just, I know all the pieces fit his system, because all his years, his teams have been successful and at the top half of the SWAC, because you're either going to come and play my way of basketball or you're going to leave. And so I think he's done a really good job. I think he's gone out and got really, really good guard scoring. And for the men's side, that's what I see makes a team most successful. Do you have a dude you can look to and be like, I need a bucket right now. I need you to go get me a bucket right now. If you don't have that, it's really, really hard. And then also, Jackson State, I think, it's his first year being able to get Dorian McMillan, who had a down year, but get him back out the portal and get some other people. I think they've gotten some interesting pieces that I think they're going to, obviously a new coach, but they're going to look way different than they did last year.
Go ahead, Keith.
Absolutely. And you were just mentioning, just looking at these teams and looking at the rebuilds, and just kind of had to go back and, look at my Liv page a little bit, so if y'all haven't already checked, it's Liv4 Hoops on Twitter, go check it out. She's WNBA, college basketball. She's basketball. But when you're just looking at it, could you just talk about almost the trickle down effect, like how, you start to see the bigger programs kind of have their moment. You start to see the smaller programs. And then I look on your page and I see Clark Atlanta and the other schools start to kind of get in there. Could you talk about how, these athletes are kind of now, as Bryan mentioned, kind of having to find a home, and kind of how this affects just the HBCU landscape in general?
Yes, 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Just have my son real quick. I'm really sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Little man, he needs what he needs when he needs
Absolutely.
it. Oh, man. I do know I got to make sure. I was just recapping here, Keith. For many people who may have forgot, on the men's side, a third of the league has new coaches. At Alabama State, Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State, and Texas Southern, right? So I know we'll get into talking about. I'm curious to hear Liv's thoughts on those new hires
right there,
and a little bit on the women's side too, like just some of the names that left and how that impacts. And honestly, kind of the question of like, how does that affect FAMU when you start seeing some of the names that left too? So
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Go ahead with your question again, Keith.
Oh, it was really related to just how the athletes have, kind of trickled down. Like you're seeing where the bigger programs have had their moments, and of course the FAMUs of the world, and those schools are still bringing on talent. But you go on the Liv for Hoops page and you see where Clark Atlanta looks like they got a few guys who are going to do some things. Like, can you just talk about how this affects HBCUs in general with the transfer portal and talent kind of trickling down and maybe throughout the different levels?
So I didn't touch on D2s that impressed me because whatever, but Clark Atlanta is definitely one of them. Lincoln, PA, Winston-Salem State. Like, what you're going to see is players just getting in where they can fit in because people don't want to be left at home. So when you don't, this is crazy for everyone, and I understand. There's literally thousands and thousands of kids in the portal for D1 and D2. A lot of people, there is no portal for NAIA, and I need people to understand that. So when kids are posting, I'm in the portal, there is no portal for them. They're just posting, they're open to NCAA opportunities. So when you have coaches looking through the portal, looking at NAIA kids, JUCO kids, there are still some who want to recruit like 1 to 2 freshmen every year. And now you mix in European kids. People really just have to get in where they fit in. So we're going to see a lot of D1 players, which D2 and NAI are extremely competitive. When you look at those top teams in those prospective leagues every year, there's some of them that could beat Division I teams like easily. And like, you would be like most people wouldn't be surprised because they'd be like, no, we know this team. We know they're so good. So really, this is just a crazy time, and people don't want to be left out. Like, there's a lot of kids who don't end up somewhere because not all teams are even getting the total amount of roster slots because they don't want to. Like, especially now when you have people coming to the table like, oh no, and I'm not joking, people averaging in like the SWAC, for example, 2.3 points per game coming to the table like, oh, I need at least 100K if you want me to come here. And I'm not fabricating that, right? So it's like, okay, if that's what, then there's coaches being like, well, I'm not doing that for you. And then they move on. So it's like you're having these conversations, and some of these conversations are initially starting with how much money these kids want, or the coach being like, this is all I have, or we don't have NIL. And so it's honestly, we're going to see the trickle down, the trickle up, like how Justin Mondin from UMES just transferred to Indiana in the Big Ten. Like, we're going to see that. And someone had asked me, they're like, Liv, how did that happen? I said, well, one, his rep must be, really good, because if you look at Justin's stats, there was many games he did not play, a ton of minutes. He averaged single digit stats across the board. But I was like, we're going to see mid-major players get those opportunities at these P4 schools when they're getting closer to the end of their cap. Like, how much money do we have left? Because these other P4 dudes are not going to accept $70K. Like, they're not going to come here for $70K. We got to go in the portal and get a mid-major dude who's willing to accept only $70K. So we're going to see the trickle down, the trickle up, but good coaches know how to take advantage of it and, use whatever tactics you have to use. And I'm not just saying this is just HBCUs, but low majors, mid majors, and D2s. A lot of coaches, the reality is they're using it as come here, right? Get your stats and leave. Like, come here, win with me, do what you got to do. And then we both go on about our business. Like, it's just the name of the game now, just because there is you can transfer as many times as you want. We've seen dudes go to 6 schools, 7 schools. We have 25-year-olds who played in the G League trying to come back to college. Like, it's a crazy, crazy time. And so as long as I see a kid land somewhere, because again, we don't know whether a player was asked to leave or whether they chose to leave. And so I think that's like, and that's not a thing. No one's posting like, oh, I got told to leave. Like, no one's ever going to post that. They're going to post their little graphic being like, after prayers and considerate, like all of that.
Respect my decision.
Yes. Respect. We'll never, ever know unless like they come out and tell us. And so it's just, I despise the NCAA for how they kind of got so lackadaisical on all the things they were allowing, because now it's going to be really hard to turn it back on. Because even with their 5-5, like, what happens to Mormon people who literally with their school have to go on a mission trip? Like, they literally have to. So they're not coming back to school till they're like 24. Or if people get get injured. And I know players this year who were injured, played less than the amount of games, and the NCAA denied their waiver for this next season. So it's really, the NCAA is picking and choosing what they want to do, who they think is going to sue them, what lawsuits. Like, it's so, it's out of control. And that's why we see whatever his name at LSU bringing all these pros in, because he's like, what are they going to do? We're going to win every lawsuit. Like, he's literally
he's trying the system.
He's like, he's like, we got the lawyers ready in the back. Like, we'll extend
and the judges.
Yeah.
And the judges in the courtroom. You gotta have those.
And I do want to say, someone brought up education and graduation. Now, there are coaches who care about that, and some don't. There are players who care about that. Some don't. I would say a lot. Let me not generalize. I feel like it's people. I really hope people don't get mad. It's very different based on if you're a men's basketball player or a women's basketball player, because the pro opportunities are a lot different. So I know a lot of dudes personally who don't care about school. They're out there to get that bag, per what they say. Whereas there's women who know, they're like, oh, I'm not going to play after college, so my education is the most important thing. That's why we're seeing coaches who are taking over programs getting hit with APR, because it's just like this cycle of leaving, going there, they're coming in, they're leaving. Like, because a lot of these kids just, and I'll say it does fall on the responsibility of the coach, of the AD, of the the academic office that works with the team to ensure that, they're meeting those requirements. But I don't know how almost any of these kids are eligible, because I'm like, not all schools accept credits from all schools. Like, this is crazy to me. So I'm always pro, you're a student first, but when now there's these mass amount of monies involved, they're really not. They're a paid employee who's there to do a service for money. So, and that's a whole other thing. These college athletes are now coming out saying they want to be treated like employees, but I'm like, then you can get fired like an employee. Like,
that part.
You know what I'm saying? So
what you asked for.
Exactly. There's all these different things, and education is very important, but it's a lot of people are so focused on the money now because that's what's being thrown at them. And again, I cannot be upset at 18 to it should just be 24, but heck, there's people who are 27 playing college basketball. I can't be mad when there's people dangling carrots in front of their face being like, we can give you this money now. Like, we have $80K for you right now, making more than the assistant coaches on the bench. Like, it's just a crazy game.
I wish you had more vocal presidents. I think we hear too much from athletic directors, conference commissioners, coaches. We don't hear from presidents, because at the end of the day, the conferences and the NCAA are all functioning at the behest of the leaders of these institutions. But those are the people we hear from the least.
Do the leaders know anything about sports?
No.
No, probably not. And they hire people. They hire people for that, right? They hire people for that. But at the end of the day, it still falls under. Look, hey, does the president of the university need to know about does he know everything about the law school or the nursing program? No, maybe not all, but guess what? You better sure as heck have a dean or somebody in a place of knowledge who can do what? Be able to function operate in those waters. So I'm just saying, I would love to hear more, but anyway, we don't have,
I got another question for Liv though. Like, when one of the things, and Bryan kind of talked about it, just looking at FAMU, and you mentioned international players, and granted, all the players are not international. Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. I don't care what nobody tells you. You can look it up. It's verifiable. But when you look at FAMU's roster, you're starting to see where we just got a commitment from a player from Africa. We got a player from Puerto Rico. You start to see where more HBCUs utilize the advent of international players. I mean, we saw Howard kind of do that as well to help fill rosters and to fill those voids.
I think it really depends on the coach and their connections, because it's like where a lot of college coaches build connections with specific, JUCOs, prep schools, or agents who work overseas that have their eyes over there. But I do think that we'll see that as well, because a lot more out of the country players are coming over at earlier ages. So they're coming over to be a part of the prep school system, a part of JUCO, so they can get their feet wet earlier, because a lot of them have aspirations of being in the NBA and doing all of that. So I think that we'll see that a lot more. I think that, Howard definitely started that trend, and then we see it with FAMU. But yeah, I think, again, it's just it's a weird time. And while some people definitely have strategic, but they're seeing what they like. Does it fit our system? And I think Howard and FAMU both kind of have systems that fit that style of play where those players are coming from.
What up, Kay Rozier?
Hello, good people. Olivia.
I had to save it. I had to let Kelvin. I had to save it for Kelvin. Let's talk about some of those men's basketball recruits, Liv. Now let me see. I'm gonna go to Let me make a couple of quick adjustments here on something. Okay. Okay. So one of the early signees on the men's side of things was Jaden Joseph. Now he signed all the way back in February.
Long time.
Obviously, that's before we saw the season play out and the numbers the way they were. And then most recently, the most recent signings have come from Chandler Davis, who was recently committed on April. So this is all post-season. And as we remember, Coach Ward only had 3 guys, returners, right? 3. So he's got about, 2?
One needs a waiver. There's 2 confirmed: Antonio Baker Jr. and Tuscan. So we didn't see. We saw Tuscan all of 13
DeLama
seconds.
needs a waiver. DeLama needs a waiver.
Yes.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
And you missed Montez. Montez signed today.
Oh, I was gonna get to it. Yeah. I got them all. I got them all here. So Chandler. Okay, well, let me keep going because that threw me for a loop. I thought there was 3. Liv said there's two and a possible. All right, so anyway, they're playing spades. Joel M. I don't even try to.
Jomo. Just call him Jomo.
Jomo. Okay, there you go. Jomo. I like that. Now let me see. Where's he from? He's from
Prolific Prep. But that was just his prep school. He is African, though.
Yeah, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, right? And then that was on May 8th last week. And then most recently from the Puerto Rico national team, 6'5", guard, small forward, Alex Montez. What's your take on what you've seen here from the early, and it's slow rolling. I know that's got a few people in the chats worried,
and I feel like they don't need to be worried. From what I understand, visits are happening. They're being able to pick who they want. They're not taking who's available. So when you have the availability to have a whole board of players being like, let's be really strategic about this, because trust, the calls were coming. Coach, I want to come here. Coach, I want to play for FAMU. Like, I think they want to be very intentional of not only the skill of players that are coming in, but the character that is following with them. Yep. So Montez is huge because he is a shooter, right? And I know a lot of people last season were like, oh my goodness, we need a shooter. He's shooting it at 40%, right? 40% on the season, which is huge. And anyone who knows a real 3-point shooter, which I can say this because I was one, finishing the season shooting 40% from the 3-point line is insane. Like that means, right, if you want to be a good 3-point shooter, you shoot 30 to like 35-ish. Anything above that, you are an extremely, you're great. 40% is great. So that's what they wanted. They wanted to bring in someone who was a knockdown shooter, and that's what they do. I think JJ Joseph, who is the 4-star commit, who that's the highest recruit in school history, he's going to bring a lot of that playmaking ability that I saw all the comments last year, like, we're missing this. I think even though he's young, he's going to bring that hunger and that consistency of playmaking, right? He's a real PG. He can get it done. And so although he's young, he comes with, he's 6'2", so it's not like he's, really short, but I think he comes with muscle. He already is working. So that's going to be a great addition. Now, Chandler Davis was a great get for them, like a true scorer, a top 65 ranked JUCO player in the whole entire nation, averaged about 22 points per game, shot from the field over 42%, from the 3 was about 33%, 8 rebounds per game, about 4 assists. He is an all around player, right? And you love players who come in. JUCO players just come with a different type of hunger, because you really have to get it out the mud when you're a JUCO player, because you're literally fighting against your teammates for spots. And that's what I think people don't understand. Even at JUCO, it's you're literally like, your teammates are trying to get out of there too. So it's a different type of hunger. And then I think anything adding size is phenomenal, right? With Joel being 6'9", they can bring that in. And then also people like Tuscan will be healthy next season. In the minutes we saw from him,
yeah,
which was very minimal, but the minutes we saw were productive.
Skill. Yeah.
They were, he was impactful in those minutes. So he's been, doing what he needs to do so he can return. And then we saw truly what Antonio Baker could be, especially on that last half. Really, I'll be honest, the SWAC tournament. Like, it's like something flipped in his head and he was like, wait, I remember this is how I can hoop. And so it's like he really woke up, and what we saw in those last few weeks from him is what we can anticipate. So I know people may be seeing the number and all that because you see other teams who already have like 14 players. But like and I'm talking from my own evaluation, from my own opinion, I just feel like they have their pickings of players that they want. And sometimes like it really doesn't matter, because when you're bringing in a ton of pieces, you want to do your research so the pieces mesh, right? Mm-hmm. When you bring in all these personalities, and like people get steered off by numbers, but like you don't want, okay, this is the thing. When you have transfers, everyone thinks they're the dude, right? They're coming in being like, oh, I'm that guy. I'm like going to come here and just do all this and that. Like, that's not the reality, because not everyone can be that guy. Like, that's just not how it works. So if they're being meticulous on like, oh, like what are the conversations like with this person? Are they going to mesh with the people that we have? Where exactly do they fit into what we're trying to build? People are worried. I'm personally not worried, because there's so many kids still left in the portal, like so many kids. And also these, like I said earlier, these kids are asking for like insane amount of money. And I'm not saying this is FAMU related, but I think coaches need to start telling kids no. Like, I'm not giving you that. Sorry. Kick rocks.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I know
don't have it.
I have seen a lot of people like worried, but I feel like they're doing what is best for their program and not just taking who wants to come there, because they do want to go there. Like, people do want to go to FAMU to play for Charlie Ward. So
I'm not looking.
I think people just need to see what happens over these next like 2 weeks and see what comes in, and things will be good. And some Tuscan will be a rebounder, a rim protector. So will Joel, and that we may even see. I think people just need to be patient and just wait to see what's gonna drop. Like, it's very.
Wait a minute, wait.
RELAX, relax.
Like, it's, and again, there's some like people have different methods of doing things. I'm personally not worried about what they're gonna do, especially if you look at what they did with a team mostly that was of not the players that they selected, right? They stayed, they were already there. I just think people need to just, I understand it though. As an alum, as a fan, you want to be like, what's happening over there? Like, and I do know, and I'm not saying, because people love to take my words, okay? I'm not saying this is FAMU coaches said this, okay? But there are coaches who, in general, don't want people to post they are committed until they are signed, because truth be told, there are coaches who go behind other coaches and just start offering every kid they offer. So they're like, let's just wait till the ink's dry on the paper till we post that you signed with us. And again, I'm not saying this is what FAMU coaches said, but across the board, coaches are saying that. They're like, don't post until you sign, because once you post that commitment, I already know the exact next school that's going to come in after me. So, I've heard that too. Yeah, I just think we got to be, let him let their staff do their thing, go through their board. But I just there's just,
all right. I love the size. Alex is 6'5". Chandler is 6'5". I mean, and you just said both of them can shoot it at a ridiculous level.
Exactly.
JJ 6'2". I mean, that's great size coming in.
In this league, right, which is actually something that I think, I think Antonio Baker can be, but also Chandler. For men's teams, you need a go-to get buckets. Like, so that's what we saw with Prairie View at the end. Dante Horn went absolutely psychotic the last half of the season. Like, dude was out there, no one could stop him. You need a player you can depend on to go out there and like be like, get your points. And I think that they have that. I think that, you know, they're getting specific pieces they need to fit the puzzle, right? We don't want to get a bunch of pieces from all these different puzzles that don't end up fitting, right? We got to be meticulous on who we pick, what do they do, and go from there. So I don't know. I'm just letting the men's team just kind of do their thing, and I'm just clocking it as it comes.
Let's jump over to the women's side with Coach Gordon. You know, I was just putting together a little roster to kind of look at who left, who's coming back. There were 4, and right now we've only been able to figure out the 3 names. The 4th name has escaped me but we know from last year's team, the most, 2 starters, Camille Jackson and Breasia Robinson, both gone. Ina Subarat, I believe she was gone. But then there's a 4th. Can't recall who the 4th is, but I don't think it's somebody that was playing significant minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a team in which, by my count, unofficially, right? I'm looking at a sheet here that's got 2, 4, at least 9 or 10 ladies coming back, right? And 3 of those are your top 4, of your top 4 returning starters, or let me say it like this. Of the top 4 starters, 3 of them are coming back, right? And then you got another one in Ellington who started 10 games. So that's some great experience. Now, let's talk about these new recruits. There's a total of 7 of them. And they've hit I thought we were done at one point. And then I was like, damn, there's another one. There's a D1 transfer. Boom, there's a D1 transfer. There's another D1. I'm like, wait a minute. Look at Coach Gordon out here. So let's break this all down, Liv. And let's start with the earliest because, Marcus likes to do these great graphics. So we're going to start with the earliest. Kristen Johnson, one of 2 high school recruits, maybe the baddest basketball player in the state of Alabama. I mean, 3-time state champion, Alabama State Player of the Year. What's your thought on Kristen as you've seen her, and as a freshman coming in, what kind of fit is she? Where we saw Ellington as a true freshman, she kind of got some minutes, but what kind of true freshman of her ilk expect?
I mean, she's going there to play. Let's keep it a buck. Like, there's no way a 3-time state champ, 2-time regional MVP, the 6A Girls Player of the Year is going somewhere to not get minutes on the floor, period. Whoever is, I don't care if you're they're all going to be upperclassmen. They better be in there ready to take her minutes. And that's just being the reality. A state player of the year is not going somewhere unless minutes are on the table. And that's just the way college sports work. You're not having someone who did all that, was on an undefeated team, averaged 17 points per game to come in and not play. So, I mean, this was probably the best. She stole it right out of Alabama's backyard. 2 schools there. She stole it out there. So I think this was, to be honest, I think this was the best one out of her class that I think is going to have the most impact. I really seeing the pieces that are staying and the pieces that are brought in. While I think she's done a great job at securing pieces, I'm really curious on how all these pieces are going to mesh together, and if other pieces who were there are getting shifted to different positions, or move to the bench. I'll just have to wait and see what, how these are going to be, how all these pieces are going to come together and be utilized. But she's done a great job on getting players there for sure. And I won't knock that.
And Kristen was one of the first commitments of this class. I mean, like, I went back, I know it says signed April 15th, but before Marcus updated, she was like committed back in like November.
Yeah.
Like before her senior season even started, she was all in, 10 toes down with Coach Gordon and FAMU. So, I mean, that says a lot. Lily Dang, the other, only one of 2 high school recruits, but 6'4". I've heard nothing but good things out of the people in the Zephyr Hills area. Thoughts, Liv?
Not really.
What is not really? Okay.
I mean, she's 6'4". They need height. They need rebounding. I feel like when I look at the centers for other teams, I feel like she'll need more of an adjustment, being as the conference is super physical, the post players extremely, especially the ones who are coming into other schools, are known for extreme physicality. I mean, I see her as coming off the bench. I mean, she's 6'4". You can't get rid of, she has height. So that's great. They need that. That's something they needed. They were horrible at rebounding. They were literally one of the worst. So getting some height can only help them. But I'm just,
maybe a year or 2 before we actually see the impact of Lily, maybe.
And, everything is always dependent on summer workouts. How do things progress by, throughout preseason? It's just, I really don't have like immediate thoughts on her, but I mean, she's 6'4" and you can't teach height. But I also, oh my gosh, seeing as post players have not been utilized in the way they should be within her system, it makes me just feel like it doesn't matter who they get at the post position. When last season, I personally, this is all personal, feel like their post player could have been utilized a lot more. And every time she started being successful, the guards would just go away from her. So again, when it comes to post players within her system, I just have to see how they're going to be used, because from the last few years, they don't get used. And post players get frustrated with that. Like, they're the ones running up and down the full 94 feet and banging the whole game. So I'll be interested to see if there's an adjustment with the utilization of post players on the offensive end next season.
Okay.
I agree.
Then we have Leah Sims, who committed back on April 12th. She's a 5'9" guard, one of the only true JUCO transfers from Lemoore College out in Lemoore, California. Another JUCO, Liv, you already kind of talked about how JUCO players roll.
And she was on a good JUCO team. They went 20-9. She averaged 16 points, shot almost 50% from the field, but that very much so tells me she's an inside player only. She didn't shoot the 3 very well, but she averaged 11 rebounds. So again, getting to the source of one of their worst things of the team last year, rebounding. But I think that's a great get. 5'10", athletic, can finish around the rim, and she rebounds. Hey, I'm not mad at it. We need rebounders.
Well, here's another rebounder, Briasia Coit. I hope I'm saying her last name correctly. She committed April 25th, former defensive player of the year out of the CIAA, coming up from D2 up to D1. 6'2", another rebounder, defensive post presence. Thoughts?
Debatable. I take, and
what's debatable? Wait a minute, what's
Liv?
What happened?
I love Liv's honesty.
I just can't be anything but honest. Again, I said FAMU's done a great job. When I saw this commitment, I will say the first thing that popped in my head, if you watched Livingstone last year, right? And so as someone who was actively watching the CIAA, they went 9-19 overall. you're not seeing many players at the CIAA level that are her size. And I just need to see how her conditioning goes through the summer. There was many times throughout the season where she had to be taken out because of just fatigue, right? Which happens. But when I think of certain teams in the SWAC, and then there's some who we're not going to know how they play because they have a new coach, I just am like, I would love to see her endurance improve heading into the season. That's my only concern. She can rebound the H out of the ball, like straight up. She knows how to use her body. She knows how to use her strength. I just feel like it's not going to be, what's the word? I'm like, I would love to just see her go longer spurts. And so I'm just curious to see that transition from Livingstone to FAMU. I'm not saying she's not going to be great, because she is. Like, I just, I'm bringing up so everyone gets the full picture, like, I feel like I'm bursting your always glass half full bubble.
Me? Not me. No. I'm looking.
Yeah, you're right, Liv. He's the one.
All right,
His whole energy changed. Like, he got sad or I'm just being honest.
Come on, stop.
She can rebound point blank, period. I'm just hoping to see. That's one thing I hope, and that should be addressed because D1 players can already, when is it? Next week? Something like that. They can already be on campus. So, I'm sure that will be addressed. But again, hitting the issue at the top of the head. This is the third rebounder. So rebounding should not be an issue next year for this team. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh, okay. Well, moving into the month of May, FAMU picked up 3 D1 transfers in the month of May. The first one, Rose Jameson on May 3rd. A 6'1" guard forward from Bellarmine University out of Louisville. That's out of the A-Sun. Team didn't have a great record, but she was like the third or fourth leading scorer on that team.
Yeah, she averaged 9 points per game. You're correct. And this is why it's hard for me to. This is one player that I was like, not like on her, but I was just like, it's hard for me to evaluate her when her team only won 2 games. When it's, to be honest, with a lot of transfers, it will be interesting because you don't know. It's a new system, a new league. Players who may not have been successful at their other schools will turn around and be successful. So, bringing someone in who, she's 6 feet, so she brings some size so they can, shift players around, go with big lineups. That's what we would want to see. That's just one. It's very hard for me to really get a true analysis on when her team was just so unsuccessful. It's hard to really gauge what's real and what's like, oh, the other team put in their third unit to finish the last 15 minutes of the game. Respectfully. Look, your whole vibe is just on. Hey,
it's not me, it's Keith. It's not me. No, I was going to comment on the fact that I learned a new word in describing a team, and you used it. I was just making note of it in my head, and then I looked at Keith and was like, Keith, stop. All right.
Unfortunately, when I shouted teams out about women's teams that have really, I think, have done a phenomenal job, I said FAMU, but I'm just here on the OMG to keep it real. That's
what you do. That's what
That's why you on here, Liv.
That's why we here.
You ain't got to explain nothing to Bryan.
No, it doesn't. Kelvin, no, don't start. It's not about me. It's not about me. Stop it. Anyway, let's move forward. I'm gonna get her name wrong. I don't know if it's Perseus Williams, P. Williams, committed on May 7th, a 5'9" guard from Winthrop University, which is in the Big South. Class of 2024. So she was there for a year or two, and now she's making a move. Thoughts on what you've seen from her?
Winthrop was decent. They finished about 500. She averaged, about 3 points, about 2 rebounds. She finished shooting from the field over 43%, which typically that tells me that she's a guard that loves to drive. Not bad. She's a guard with size. She appeared in 26 games, so it's not like she was bench ridden. She was getting minutes on, a decent team. So I think, a guard with size is always a good thing to have in the rotation. Again, I'm really curious and intrigued to see how these new pieces fit with the existing team members and how it's all going to work, because I'm just very curious, and in a good way, the curiosity of how are these pieces all going to fit together, because on paper, and this is with every team, on paper it can look so good, but how is it going to be executed? How are they going to fit? But she's a big guard. You can't be mad at that, especially in this conference, right? You want bigger, quick guards who are athletic and can get downhill.
Speaking of big guards, and the last of the more recent recruits in the D1 was Cameron Grant, committed on the 15th, a 6-foot guard transferring from the University of Dayton. She's from Ohio, from Columbus, won state championships in high school. Big guard.
Mm-hmm. And I think this the one. I mean, okay, so people are gonna eat all of the candy. Nice. So when you look at her stats, she only averaged about 5 minutes per game. And she only appeared in 12 games. So you can't really look at that. But from asking around, I heard she's a dog. Like, she can get to it. So, I mean, I think this is the one. So, I mean, they want a legit score. I think that this could be that. Again, I don't know Coach Gordon's vision or how she sees this, or, there's coaches have different conversations with players of, this is what I see for you. This is what I envision for you. But typically you're not seeing a player go from, and I love my school, I love all HBCUs, but you're not typically seeing a player go from Dayton, a higher major school, to go down unless, certain things are being said in conversations, to be honest. Like, that's just being honest. There's different different minutes, games. I heard she's a dog, so I'm really excited to see how she plays and what she brings to the table. Again, I think Coach Gordon did a great job of getting players that fit the needs that they have, which I was very clear. The first thing was rebounding. They need to rebound. You cannot be last in a conference where there's multiple teams at the top of the conference who are like Grambling, despite them having what was considered a down year, still finishing in, Coach Simmons still finished at 500. They were finished like number 2 in the country in offensive rebounds. Like, you can't be last in the conference when you have teams who are competing. And then A&M was nationally like some defense, like opponent defense and opponent, like, you just can't. You need to be able to rebound. You got to be able to generate points. And I think that she got the players who will fit those gaps and do just that, and fit, from what I'm seeing and what I kind of envision, fit around what she already has. But I'm like, ooh, who's going to be the shooter? Just the knockdown shooter, right? That's my only thing now, as we're like talking about the roster. Because again, with Subarats, which she was considered their 3-point shooter, and I don't know. I'm telling you.
See, what happened was.
And so now I'm just like, and a lot can change in the summer. If you get on a gun and you start shooting, when I shot my best, I was literally in the summer shooting like over 500 threes every single day, different spots, because you just got to learn your shot and know, like, the second it leaves your hand, you should know if it's in or out. So someone could become like a good shooter from the perimeter for them. I'm just interested in to see how it all comes together. But I think this is a good class for her. And I'm excited to see how it all fits together because, they still have Shania McCarthy, who I thought was very up and down, but she gave me glimpses that really excited me. And I was like, all I want is for you to be consistent, please.
Consistent.
That's all I was asking of her. Like, I was like, that's all we need. And then obviously, I am a huge fan of Giles Jones. I will just rave about her all the time. I don't care because she definitely has that dog mentality. She's not scared of anybody. She'll do all the work. And I felt like, especially down the stretch, she was so massive in attacking the basket, getting them buckets when needed. I just am a huge fan of her mentality because I feel like the mentality she had is not something you can be taught. You can't be taught to be a dog. You either are that or you're not. And so I felt she brings that grit. And then, they have like different pieces we didn't see as much, but I am excited to see the jump for Ellington. Obviously she got hurt for a period of time. But I'm expecting a big jump from her because I feel like we again saw really good glimpses for her.
Speaking of Ellington, we do have a point. Ellington is the backup point guard. If not, isn't she a point guard? I mean, if Purifoy is your 1A, I would say Ellington is your 1B. No? I guess not.
No, I'm not.
She's more of a scoring guard to me.
Yeah, like I don't think she's necessarily
really aggressive offensively.
She's out there to get a bucket. Like she's really not there to set nobody up. She's there to sit on the wing, grab it, and go.
All right. Liv, you've been gracious with your time tonight. I mean, that's a great breakdown, not only of the men's class, which is still to be built. So there's probably at least 5 or 6. There's at least about 6 more spots left. So we'll wait to see what that looks like over the course of next month. I would assume the women are done, given the numbers. So we'll do a breakdown of that. I was thinking about kind of putting together a little article piece and maybe reach out to Coach Gordon and kind of get some more info, about these individual ladies and then maybe kind of put together a little article about it. So we'll see if that can come to fruition over the next week. But I'm really excited to see what her vision is for this group, because I think there's a lot riding on it, and should be real fun to talk about in the off season. So,
and I just want to answer this question.
Hey, don't sleep on Nile Rose either.
Don't sleep on what?
Nile Rose.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I think we just got to see how it all fits together.
Yeah.
But I want to answer
what
this
question was that? What question?
Aren't most PG scoring guards nowadays? There's a difference between being a point guard who can score and a guard who just can score. Like, this is the whole thing. Ellington came in being a scoring guard. She was like, can she facilitate? Yes, but she is a scorer. Now, when you look at other point guards, there are point guards who can score, but a lot of them are facilitate first. They want to set their teammates up. They want to drive in order to kick. That's in what I saw last season. That is not what Ellington is out there to do. Like, and that's fine. I'm all for it. Like, go get a bucket. I'm not mad, but I think putting her in a point guard position is a disservice to, one, her own personal growth as a player. 2, to be honest, I don't think, and again, I'm not a college coach. I don't get paid college coach money. So, take what I say with what I say. I think it's a disservice to the team to have her as a point guard because, again, she's not out there to facilitate. She's a scorer. So, whereas Purifoy, she is so tiny, but and so a lot of her turnovers, I think, were because she was so small. Like, the passes just wouldn't make it, because if she had a few more inches, they would have got through. But like a lot of times she would score, but she was also setting people up. I also think, there's different things around that, but I don't think Ellington is like a point guard. She's definitely a scoring guard. I hope that answers that. There's guards who can score and guards who are scorers. So I hope that makes sense.
It does.
Yes, you've done an amazing job, Liv. I mean, I'm a parent and I get it. You have killed it.
And also, I just want to say to everyone who's watching and gonna watch this, I'm just here to again, if you look at my tweet, I shouted FAMU out. They were number 1 on the thing. I said I am very impressed with what Coach Gordon has done. But when I'm on the ONG, I'm going to address, hey, here's some things that may be a concern. Here's some things we should look for as the team starts to gel together. What is the system going to be? Are post players actually going to be utilized? Where's the shooter? These are questions we can be asking, but please do not take my words and be like, oh, I did say that, but in the context of being like, hey, here's some things that should be addressed in the offseason. Anything can change from now to October, even November. Games don't start till November. So anything can change within that time frame. But, I am wearing my FAMU women's basketball gear.
See that?
Wow.
Throwback.
Throwback when we were
Russell.
Russell.
Right.
I peeped that. Little
You earned
throwback.
that one. You didn't pay for it. You earned it.
Yeah. Liv, appreciate your time again, as always. Appreciate your honesty. Love everything that you're doing out there in these spaces.
Absolutely.
And again, as of these comments are only good as of May 20th, 9:15 p.m. Central Time.
It could change tomorrow. You could see some stuff happen tomorrow. We never know.
Right. So I love the timestamping comments. I love it. All right, Liv, go take care of little man. Put him down in front of the TV. Let him watch Wemby for about 10 minutes. It's games getting nuts right now. So
we do not. We don't really watch basketball.
not there yet.
No. Depends on his mood. Sometimes he wants to, and then once he's done with it, it's time to be done with it. So
he's 7'4". Look at that big guy. Look at that big guy on TV. It's like us growing up watching Ralph Sampson back in the day. Like, how tall is he? Good Lord. Anyway.
That dude is an NPC, as the kids would say.
All right, Liv. Good night. Be well.
Good night, Liv.
Appreciate you. Take care.
Okay, let's.
There it is. Liv said, all right, got to go to bed. Take the little man to bed. Good, appreciate Liv spending time with us, taking care of doing double duty, and appreciate little man for giving us some time with mom. So appreciate it. All right. Well, Kelvin Rozier, the children's, is everybody safe? Everybody doing well?
Yeah, the graduates are graduating.
All right.
The non-graduates are not.
No foolishness walking across the stage, huh?
No, everybody pretty much did a good job these first 2 nights.
All right. How many more of these you got?
Well, I got one
all week.
I got one tomorrow, and then I'm out of town. But there's 3 more. 1 on Friday and 2 on Saturday.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, man. While this was happening, a lot of people in the chat giving us SWAC baseball updates. Bethune-Cookman catching it right now from UAPB. What's the score? 4-0?
4-0. But I ain't gonna hold you.
Did Edwin Sanchez start this game?
I don't know who's starting, but I ain't gonna hold you. West Virginia. Oh Lord. I'm thinking about somebody in West Virginia State, but they don't look really good. UAPB, if you look at them defensively, they don't look polished. Some of their at-bats. I would not be surprised if Cookman makes a comeback.
UAPB is just they're just a scrappy bunch of dudes who just, even when we played them, we gave a game away, and you're just like, how are we losing to these dudes? And you do have to kind of, I don't know, and maybe it's just because we were on the road, the fans were just, everything was just kind of, like you said, not polished, but they're just gritty. It's just gritty, whatever. So we'll see how long that lasts. I'm just trying to see if Sanchez started, because I told you there's always one of these games when it's not Sanchez or it's not Bacabello where they seem to not do so well. So I don't know. You guys in the chats would know better than me who started. Who started this game for them? I'd be curious to know.
Yeah, pitching in a tournament don't tend to hold up, especially when you get to bullpens. So BCU, they can put up points quick. So it's good. It's good for UAPB. They got off to a nice start, but yeah, it's a long way to the ninth inning.
Yeah, and they getting some good. They if you're a Cookman hater, UAPB just dropped a triple. They smell themselves right now.
Yeah, they feel themselves right now.
But I don't know. I don't have faith in them.
Okay. I mean, at some point, what do you say? I don't know what inning is it? What inning? Like, is it the fourth?
It's the fourth inning.
Yeah, look, you just got to keep scoring runs. You can't. If you're UAPB, you can't go silent. You got to keep putting pressure on them and make it harder and harder. Like 4 runs isn't hard in inning. I mean, 6, 7 in the 7. I mean,
as a rattler, if we make it to the finals and BCU ain't there, I'm okay with it.
That part. That part. A win is a win.
Wrong with my prediction. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Ain't about that at all. What'd you make of the clock game? Your thoughts on game 1?
I thought we got off to a good start. And then, we had that one inning that we tend to have when we get into our bullpen sometimes. And SWAC is a really good hitting conference. Everybody got offense who's in the tournament. And so we got behind, but I was never concerned personally because I've watched this team all season and know the makeup. And then I've also watched the teams we playing, and I knew the pitcher wasn't going to hold up. We just had swept Texas Southern. And so I had seen, all the players and the pitchers. And I knew that 6 runs wasn't going to be enough for them to beat us.
Right. Yeah, right when Caleb got to the 101 pitch count, he comes out. And then there's another run coming in for UAPB. Now it's up to 5-0.
They need to get 10. Like it sounds crazy to say this about a baseball game, but for me, if I'm a UAPB, you need at least 10 runs because Cookman's explosive.
And this is Sanchez on the mound. So this is your ace, the SWAC pitcher of the year, getting roughed up here. And I'm curious to see if Coach Hernandez is going to leave him in there. I know there's a meeting going on at the mound right now. Be interesting to see how much longer does he go.
I mean,
what I will say about UAPB now, they don't have a second and third starter, but they number 1 starter and their best middle reliever are good enough where they can maintain the lead. So,
and as much as we've talked about the great successes of Cookman, they've also had those games where they are questionable. I mean, they beat LSU, then they lost to Valley. So, and that's not a slight, especially from FAMU. We can't say nothing to nobody losing to Valley for the next year or so. But, I mean, they have been on both sides of the spectrum. That Kelvin was muted on purpose.
Right now, where was I going? I made me forget where I was going to go.
And we made Bryan cuss.
FAMU will play. We do know that FAMU will play Southern tomorrow at 4:00 Eastern. which is the third game of the day, just in case anybody is curious about the schedule. Alabama State, 10-run ruled Grambling State, which I'm not surprised, really. That's the least surprising. You're on mute, Kelvin. You're on mute. You're on mute, Kelvin. That's the least surprising thing all day.
That's surprising in terms of the score. Not that Alabama State won.
Okay.
But Grambling is a very good offensive team. So
it's the same Grambling that gave up a 23-1 game in game one versus Bethune. That's why I said I'm not surprised.
They have no pitcher
tomorrow. They'll show up tomorrow.
They don't have pitcher, but they can hit
tomorrow. Yeah, so, they'll show up tomorrow. But getting 23-1, I mean, when you lose, come on.
So they get belted behind. Do we continue to purge of Grambling?
I don't know.
Didn't they just fire? Didn't they fire another coach today?
Soccer coach. Yeah, they did. They did
fire. It's a purge at Grambling. They didn't fire 2 people in a week.
Too much losing. They've gone to a relief pitcher. So Edwin Sanchez, the SWAC pitcher of the year, is out.
I thought he was going to mess up that throw to first base.
Oh man, look.
And he pulled him off the bag a little bit, but still.
Yeah, he did. But that's probably the second most shocking thing all day. Is Sanchez ends up giving up 5 earned runs and is out in the 4th inning.
That is.
Didn't even go a full 4.
Hey,
pitcher of the year?
Yeah, pitcher of the year.
Yeah.
Them boys say y'all ain't the only team whose stadium's named after a Major League Baseball player.
What?
UAPB.
Oh, that's right. That's right. What's the kid?
Torrey Hunter.
Torrey Hunter. Yeah. That's right. That's it. Okay. Well, so that's the 4:00 game. FAMU Southern. Be interesting to see. Southern's got a 17-game SWAC winning streak.
Yeah.
FAMU bats were on fire. I noted everybody in the lineup got a hit, at least one.
That's going to be a 12-10 game.
High scoring, huh? You think so?
Yeah, I think Workman gonna go, and Workman throws the ball around the plate a lot. Southern is a good hitting team, so I think they're gonna put up some points. And Southern hasn't shown me when I saw them that they have any dominant pitching in bullpen either. So I think it's gonna be a shootout tomorrow.
All right. Well, it should be good action. Give you a chance to lock in. The losing teams, the elimination bracket games are the first 2 games of the day for each bracket. So it'll be Jackson State and Texas Southern, and then Grambling versus the loser of the game that's on tonight. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And then Alabama State takes on the winner. So good times in the SWAC. Good times in the SWAC.
It's all the more reason to watch be here on Sunday on BCSN, right? AD
all the more reason. Yeah, I don't know. We didn't do based on when the championship game is, we didn't do a watch party or anything last year. Because isn't the championship game in the afternoon, early afternoon, 1 or 2 o'clock?
On Saturday?
Is it Saturday or Sunday?
I don't know. I hadn't looked at it.
I thought the championship game was on Sunday. Anyway, somebody's got a bracket. Look. But
let's see.
We'll see. Okay. Well, anything else left that you guys thought we should mention? I know it's kind of late. And
yes, it's Sunday. Sunday at 1 p.m.
Okay, I thought it was Sunday 1.
Grades. Y'all want to talk about APR? Grades. Wide receiver coach said my players go to school.
Look, if we gonna talk about it, we got to talk about it all the way around. I will say this though. I'm okay with talking about it. I want everybody to talk about it. I want to know, I want all of the praise for whether it be the tennis team, the volleyball team, because we always hear later about the 1000s or whatever, the perfect APR score. But I know we want to put out the president's list and the dean's list of the 40, 50 some odd football players. Great. Okay, good to see guys doing what they're supposed to do in the classroom this semester. But I've always felt like we should be promoting and talking about all of them. I should see we shouldn't have to go deep diving, off the pier to find or to hear about volleyball. Or let's use these Twitter handles and Instagram pages, softball. I mean, a lot of smart young people. Let's praise them. Let's praise them all. I mean, because we will talk about them and give them praise when they get the all conference and the national awards and all Americans. But let's balance it out. Let's give them that praise when they're doing the academic stuff as well. And it might even encourage more people to give, because people actually say, there are people out there who kind of lean on that, and they're like, well, I want to make sure these kids are, doing what they're supposed to do in school. Okay, well, let's do that also. That's my 2 cents. Y'all want to comment?
Bless them. No, man, on the real tip, I'm glad that, the coaches are on it and the student athletes are responding in football specifically. And it's no surprise to me. I know where Quinn stand on that. And of course I know where those 2 FAMU High folks stand on that, and all the coaches are in lockstep, and it's not an option. You either gonna make the mark or you ain't gonna be there. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it should be.
Absolutely. We saw that. Don't forget our season tickets. We saw that notification come out. I tell you, boy, folks started asking questions at 220 Club, and you start getting some get some consequences, huh?
Yeah. Did they go on sale officially, or was it just the announcement that? What was the date on that?
They are on sale now.
What you talking about? Season tickets?
Season tickets on sale now.
Man, sure. I ordered mine back in. I ordered mine back in February. Now they ain't printing them out. You ain't getting them yet.
How'd that happen? Let's see.
If you're a season ticket holder, you got an account. Ticketmaster
account. Is what, for new?
And they invoice you. No, it's nothing new.
Somebody's out there not a season ticket holder yet, but we're trying to encourage them to be, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Membership has its privileges.
Such as?
That ain't for me to say. Just follow me. Do as I do.
I got a pen from the Rattlers and Arms.
I did.
Let me see what color is yours. Mine was a different color. Let me see.
Mine's orange.
Oh shoot! Okay, mine was different.
I got green. A green one.
I got a green one. There you go. Spurs are on a down 4 right now. 10 minutes to go. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. See if we get some more madness like the last 2 days of NBA basketball. All right. Somebody asked for the renderings. I saw the email from Keith. So Keith, you got to explain what this is, because I am totally in the dark about what this is.
I know Kelvin saw it too, but
no, I hadn't looked at it yet.
Within one of the FAMU alumni group chats, there were renderings for a expansion and a renovation to the field house, something I've talked about on the show quite a bit. But in this rendering, they've considered adding 3,000 seats to the south end zone and then redoing the field house and really turning into a place that is multi-purpose. So when you kind of go through the next picture, you get to see like the actual full vision of it. And it includes including an indoor practice facility as well. So just, having some forethought and trying to have some ideas for what FAMU could be and turning it into Division I football program. I think they estimated the cost to be about $25 million. And within the Facebook group, they kind of put in there like, hey, what can we do to kind of get the ball rolling on this? So just
where does all this fit? Where does this 3-story where does this fit? Where does this going? Where's this going?
I don't know how that fits in the space they put it at on the picture. Some of that to me just seems like a really wonderful dream. I do know on the old strategic plan where they were going to move Bragg and include a new field house, you were going to have that, but that's what the renderings they gave us, and they say according to their renderings it might be able to fit in that space where the field house is now.
So this is the south end zone.
My assumption would be they would be taking away that parking.
Yes,
if they build that to make it fit in that footprint on that south side.
So, but just some ideas, some things. I love it personally, just because I don't necessarily feel like Bragg Stadium needs to seat 30 to 40,000 people, but I do think that some of the things we are doing are antiquated. I'm like a lot of y'all with the field house. Another thing that came about in the 220 Club and other stuff where it's like, hey, we need a new field house, and you're seeing alumni kind of not just talk about it, but apply a little pressure by saying, well, here's some renderings. It's not like we don't have an architecture school and other things at FAMU.
I think there's some discussions going on also administratively at the executive level and facilities on campus too with the coaches.
So it looks like where one of the two practice fields, if you see down at the bottom right of this picture, that
would be the indoor practice facility.
That would be the indoor
field.
That would be this. Mm-hmm. That would be that. The indoor.
And some of that comes about just because of what's happened locally. Like you started talking about schools like Thomas County Central has an indoor practice facility. Lowndes High School has an indoor practice facility. And we're talking about high schools, not what Florida State has. We're talking about high schools that are in an hour and a half max radius to Tallahassee, and they have Division I level football stuff. And yeah, so
but they local counties are putting the bill for that though.
Correct. So
yep. And very nice facilities.
Again, so now the other picture, if you look at where the football stadium is and you see the end zone, the south end zone.
They're taking up parking, like I said.
Yeah. Well, how much parking are they really taking?
Just I don't know what that's about.
I was gonna say there doesn't seem to be much parking that they're really taking up.
You're taking up part of the football field. When you look at that picture on the left, you shorten the size of the football field. So the outdoor practice football field would only be about, even though it looks like a regular field, you would only actually practice on like 2/3 of the field.
I got you.
So similar to what they did at Florida State with theirs, and similar to also what they've done at the University of Miami and Bethune-Cookman when it comes to having a shortened practice field, outdoor practice field.
So the question next is, where are the renderings for more parking garages? Well,
I mean, where are you going to put the other parking garage? I mean, unless you're going to put over there by Pattyfoot and all that, but I don't know what they're going to do with that.
There's a lot of options. There is. This, by the way, this is nothing new.
The good thing with parking garages, you could build up.
Correct.
I mean, what are we talking here? Right?
We've done P3s. We've done the P3 studies and had renderings before. So we kind of know. But just to your answer that question, behind the north end zone, you can turn that into a parking garage.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get more space out of it, right? I mean, because you could probably triple it if you have if you had 3 or 4 stories. Yeah, exactly. You go up, you take the existing number of spaces and multiply it by 3 or 4 if you made a 4-story structure.
Yep. Biggest problem would just be then you would have to put a holding pond somewhere because you got to send that water somewhere, right?
Well, they built one. The water goes down to the pond.
Engineering.
And bond.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. From the stadium. Yep.
Well, this is fascinating. I haven't been this excited about rendering since Milton Overton's drawings back in 2017.
I like it. I love the rooftop lounge and I love the multiple suite levels. And I'll be honest.
Oh yeah,
and I say it for the people in the front and the back. I would love for us to get our main post press box out of that space that we have over there and actually have like a real press area over there. Because
leave that one the way it is. And just put another one that serves a different purpose on the other side.
Yeah, that's true.
Because personally, I would rather have the camera shots facing the Perry Street anyway.
You don't like to have the shot of the campus in the background?
They don't really show that, Harley.
Well, what makes you think they would show the other angle?
Well, what I'm saying is the alumni side is always, you can count on them. They there at every game. So
you got the 100 on the other side though. 100 and the students are on that side.
They can still show the 100.
I
got end zone.
I like what you're saying though.
You remember you got end zones. So if you go to other games, right? You got cameras in the end zones as well as on the press box side. Sometimes on both press box sides. So.
Keith, we got to figure out who. I'd love to talk to. We got to figure a way how to, do a joint with whoever put this thing out there, man. Let's get them on one of our shows and let's chop it up with them. I mean, this is fascinating because this is the kind of thing that, you have to talk about it in order for it to really become a reality. I think it's genius the fact that somebody has gone this far with the creative process, right? So now it actually gives vision to a purpose. And so now I saw somebody noted something that Lil Baby said. The president said that we're a D1 institution. We need to look like it. Okay. Let's look like it. Let's get some money together. Let's look like it.
It is being supported for sure.
Yeah.
And we're definitely paying D1 prices for people. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So
FAMU folks getting paid top dollar.
I mean, this is good, man. This is genius. So I don't know, we gotta, if you, maybe somebody who designed this and did this is watching the show and we just don't know, but we'd love to talk. Reach out, hit us up, ONGStrikeZone@gmail.com, or, hit us up on socials. You see Kelvin, Keith, me. Let's talk. Let's chop it up and let's talk. I would love to know more about the creativeness that went behind this. Genius. Applaud. Great job. Whoever did this, awesome. 2 thumbs up. Great job. Great work. All right. What else we got? What else y'all want to hit on? Anything else? We out? We done? We just sitting back waiting to see whether we can win another SWAC title.
No, I'm not waiting. And y'all can shut up about black. I told you the baseball team.
What?
Black uniforms.
Black uniforms. That black stuff don't apply to the baseball or the
baseball. Baseball look. Yeah, they love it.
It don't apply to the baseball team. I'm talking about. You can keep it though. We have too many beautiful color combinations to start a series with black.
You're not playing. They play what they like. They feel good, look good, play good.
All right, don't make me stats show different for some programs. I'm just saying.
Sample size.
Okay. All right, fellas. Well, the bases are loaded right now for UAPB 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. And I tell you, man, if UAPB brings, I would say 2 or 3 of these home, it may be lights out for Bethune.
Don't count them out.
The pressure will be on for sure.
Yeah, pressure's on, but don't count them out.
Yeah.
We saw that movie last year, and them jokers, they did what they did.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I'm walking Fernandez every time you come to the play. If UAPB,
just go ahead and put him on. Be automatic.
Just put him on. Put him on.
Don't even give him a chance.
I'm not
to get
pitching
going.
to that dude. No.
Yeah, don't even give him a chance to get started. Nope. Put your ego aside, put it in your back pocket, and walk that cat.
Yep.
And get to the next guy. Shout out to Jordan Brown, FAMU, the number 9 hitter. Texas Southern did that. They walked somebody to get to him. 0 for 3, and all he does is, with the bases loaded, brings 2 home, which was the go-ahead run. And then Will Brown follows it up with a run himself. That's your play of the day, your players of the day. What can Browns do for you? Yeah, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and a win. There you go.
Hey, Bryan, why did the number 3 seed have to play the first game of the tournament at 9 a.m. instead of the 4 seed?
Or the 2 seed, maybe?
No. It should have been, in my mind, the 4th seed, the 3rd seed, the 2nd seed, and the 1st seed. Make the from 9 a.m. to the night game to make, getting the 2 or 3 seed. Getting a 3 seed and playing the first game of the tournament, that ain't necessarily an advantage.
I didn't look this up, but I bet if I go in and look at last year, I'd be willing to bet the 4 seed played the first game last year, and then the 3 seed played. Then you had the 2 seed and then the 1 seed. I would hope that they alternate that. But that's a great question, Kelvin. I would hope that they alternate that every year. Just to.
That's what Ed was saying. Alternating bracket.
Okay. Good. Thank you. I hope so. I would hope they would do that. But I do think, though, it's interesting to watch what happens, though, because, you're playing a late game and then you have to turn around. If you lose, you got to play at noon tomorrow. If you're Bethune, right? Mess around. Whereas now FAMU is the one who gets the extra rest because we played the first game. Now we play the 4 o'clock game and potentially can play that 4 o'clock window all the way to the championship. So
now it starts.
Yeah. Long as you're in the winning bracket, it don't matter. But if you go to that losers bracket, it matters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's pick it up and get out of here, fellas. It's been a good night. Appreciate great conversation that we had today with A-Rod White for the first time joining the show.
Got to go back and watch that.
Yeah, nationalscoutingbureau.com, as well as a writer for blackcollegenines.com.
Mentioning baseball, shout out to them Trojans, 38 Trojans.
Yeah, state champs. Yeah.
Wait a minute, what happened?
Lincoln High School.
Really?
They won a state championship.
Finally.
Hey,
with almost a 500, they went into the playoffs with a 500 record though.
We had
Lincoln had a couple of dudes. They look like they look good. Like some good looking brothers out there.
They got some size and talent. Yeah.
You got a former head coach's son on the team, or
Yeah.
Who?
Fuller. Chase Fuller.
Oh, Corey Fuller. Okay.
Yeah.
That kid is a beast.
Any of those kids at Lincoln coming to FAM?
We got a couple of football players on about baseball.
Baseball. I doubt that.
Baseball. Okay. And then, of course, Live for Hoops. Great breakdown on the women and men's recruiting class that we have so far. So far for the men, 4 signed recruits. Women have 7. So if you missed any of the conversation and want to know more about the men and women's recruiting class, go check that out. Great conversation with Liv. Appreciate Marcus for the graphics. Comes off assignment. We put him right to work, and now he's catching up. Jet lag. So,
sure, ain't some of that French wine. It was an anniversary.
Long flight. Probably out there squashing grapes with their feet. They own personal bottle of wine. Let it age for another 25 years or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's cute. All right. Well, Keith, appreciate you joining in, man. Get the people any last words and thoughts and what you got upcoming.
Oh man, catch tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about some of the happenings at FAMU, and we did drop this about the renderings here, but just in general, gonna celebrate some of FAMU, what's going on there, and celebrate FAMU baseball. Come back Thursday, and then some more recruiting, because y'all know it's that kind of season where it's like not a whole crazy lot going on, mostly recruiting stuff like that. So, but we're gonna be there also Friday. Catch me with St. Clair Moraine on Hallelujah 95, and just getting excited, man.
You're a published author now, is that correct?
I did publish an author. We won a little award and won a part. So that's where I was for a couple months. So writing a book for our chapter. So yeah.
Look at you, Keith. Man, doing big things. All right, I love it, man. Congratulations on that.
All right, don't be like Hopper.
No, sir.
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it.
Just messing Kelvin for no reason.
I know.
All right. Kelvin, any last words?
No, man. I want to get back and watch the show and see how this Bethune thing in. And we got a lot of camps coming up, so I think we'll focus in on some of these camps next week.
All right.
And superlatives coming at the end of the year. At the end of the month.
Oh, yeah, we got to start putting that together. We got to find maybe a new way of doing that for the 5th. It's not the quite 5th anniversary of that, because I don't think we did it in year 1. We started it in year 2. So this will be the 4th anniversary ONG Awards. So we got to start putting that together. If you're interested in anybody out there that wants to be a part of it, let us know. We're always looking for. We've always and only done it online, but we're always looking for new ways to expand how we do it. So, always looking for some sponsors. So if you want to be a part of it, reach out. Let us know. Please encourage everybody. I do want to encourage everybody to go check out the BCSN Pod Zone, the podcast channel aggregating for all of the Black College Sports Network shows. Lots of good stuff there. So please go find the BCSN Pod Zone everywhere that you listen and download podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and more. Download, rate, review, subscribe. All helps the algorithm out. And FloridaClassic.com. Nope, Florida Classic. OrangeBlossomClassic.com. Which classic I'm talking about. OrangeBlossomClassic.com. Don't forget to get your tickets. Don't forget to get your hotels booked. FAMU versus South Carolina State. Time still to be determined. It's not 6 o'clock. We found that out last week. But it is on Sunday. So do with that as you will. And once we get the official times, we'll let you know. But
there's a 7 o'clock game. I think I saw a college game on Sunday. So that leads me to believe that it's probably
and Cookman's just
3:30.
I thought that went foul.
Did that go foul?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it went foul. It went foul. It was close. Oh no, did it go foul? Because he swung on it like it was a golf ball.
Lord.
All right. Okay. Look at Edwin. Thanks, Edwin. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy SWAC TV. FAMU versus Southern, 4 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. SWAC TV. All right.
Stay in the winners bracket, baby.
For Marcus Green, who couldn't be with us, Keith Hadley for joining in tonight, Kelvin Rozier, I'm Brian Fulford. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night. God bless. FangsUp, and make sure to strike, and strike again wherever you are. Peace out.